right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to an impromptu session of Vampire the Masquerade. Philly by night. We got Knox with us, our storyteller. Skot, who plays Idaho. Zack plays Victor, and I play Alice. Yeah, just thought we'd jump on and throw a fun session together. So I know I didn't get to promote it very much, but it was last minute. So we hope you guys enjoy hanging out with us. Remember, we do stay active in the chat, so feel free to hit us up there. How are we doing, guys? How's our Saturday, half the weekend?
I was up stupidly late compiling that list of all of our cast of characters, and then woke up this morning and continued working on West Philadelphia's mini maps. So I'm a little bleary-eyed, and I'm going to torture you.
Not our fault.
Didn't say it was your fault. I said I was going to blame you. All right. We ready to get started?
Let's go.
Good.
All right. Welcome to our in-between session of Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle, Philly by Night. Tonight, I guess this technically qualifies as 33A, 33 and a half, 0.5. I don't know how we're going to qualify this one. It is a couple days since the coterie has last been together, and it is the first not particularly busy night at the club. In fact, it is so not busy that the upstairs bars have been shut down. Michael has gone to do his business elsewhere, and the ghouls have basically taken over the club, which leaves our three kindred tonight with an unexpected raid. So, before we start our misadventures, let's do some housekeeping. Looking like Vic is.
Nom 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 nom.
Vic woke up on the wrong side of the bed where everybody else seemed to.
That's the right side of the bed for tonight. God, I've got some good hunger.
Didn't I go to sleep with a hunger of 2?
I don't recall. Let us look.
I think I did. Did I? Or was it 3?
I'll reset my willpower.
Yeah, you're at 2. So, this is not your Saturday night. So I'm assuming that you, Idaho, are having to drive into the apartments from wherever you might have been. So, we're going to go down the line here in a moment. Idaho, when you get to the apartments and step out of your hearse, you notice that a letter falls from between the door and the seat. You're not sure how it got tucked in there. You're not sure when it got tucked in there. But it is a small, nearly square, sealed envelope.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to check it out.
So when you open it, I didn't know if you wanted to open it now or wait till everybody was there with you. When you open it, it is a relatively simple, elegant script on a very nice piece of cardstock that simply says a location of a very, very high-end French restaurant and a time, which is very, very late, well after you know it would be closed.
Does it have a date?
It is for tonight. The script at the bottom simply says, I would like to meet to talk about trade.
Talk about a trade?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so it's in the car.
Yes. Well, it fell out onto the street. And then
Right, yeah.
Right.
But I mean, it was left in the car sometime when I wasn't aware of it.
Correct.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm going to grab the note and head inside. I would like to assume that I got the car cleaned since last time because that was the first thing on my mind.
Yes, we will assume that in the couple days since that you have decided that you didn't want to sleep in an abattoir.
Right. As appealing as that might sound. So I had the back redone in a purple crushed velvet, just so everybody knows.
Swanky.
And because Rick gets in there, I went ahead and jacked it up, so anyway, just no. Okay, I'm going to go in to the apartments and look for everybody.
Okay, so going down the list. So you head into the apartments. Are you specifically going to seek people out, or are you just heading to your apartment with Kai, or are you?
Well, let me throw in a little OOC. I'm just kind of adapting on the fly because originally this was going to be a solo session. I was going to look into the kids. So if it had just been a solo session, I probably wouldn't even gone to the apartment. I would have just drove to the kids' house.
Right.
So now I guess I'm just going to sort of go in and look especially for Al and Vic, because I want to actually show them this note.
Okay. So when you go inside, well, we'll see where they are. So Vic, how are you starting the evening? What are you up to as you wake up?
I'm putting the finishing touches on the new sod off. I miss Stubby, so I'm making a new Stubby.
All right. So, do you have, okay. So you have, this is going to be your roll to see how successful you are or how long it's going to take. So
okay.
Roll your firearm skill and your craft skill.
And I also have a specialty in weaponsmithing.
Okay, then add 1.
Ooh. So
you're looking at
3 and 2.
So no, you're not adding your hunger dice for this. This is just your.
Oh, just a roll of 5.
Yeah. Okay, so you definitely you beat the you hit the margin, but you didn't exceed it. So you are in the you hit that point in the crafting and creation. You put everything together. You're getting everything ready. It's still going to be another week or so before
it's done.
Before it's done.
Okay. But it's being worked on. That's cool.
Okay. So, Alice, you wake up. It is a slightly awkward night for you, as when you wake up, both Lane and Ruby have already headed to the club and are already there working. So for you to have the apartment by yourself is kind of a weird thing. So you wake up. What do you do?
I think I'd be, knowing that Vic is in his room, I'd probably be on the lookout for Idaho to check in and see what's going on with him.
Okay. So then we can functionally say that at this point the three of you are kind of looking for one another. So we'll kind of skip to the part where you all are actually together. So we'll say that you guys meet at Vic's apartment. So
I answer with a shotgun. Hey!
part of a shotgun. Holding it
Shotgun.
too.
Look what I'm making.
Damn, I feel bad. I just brought a toothpick. I didn't know. Well, I'm going to show them the note. I'm going to say, look what I found mysteriously in my car, and I have no idea how it got there.
Oh, clubs.
Well, did you get the blood cleaned out?
Oh, yeah.
Could it be somebody that detailed the car for you?
Don't know. But whoever left this knew where I was, or knew where the car was, and wants us to come to this place tonight. And it's like a French restaurant, you said?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I want to go check on Hildegard's kids, but
That definitely
but I don't
sounds
know. I
like
don't imagine that would take too long, and then we could, you guys want to go check this out and see who this is that's wanting to talk to us about a trade.
Well, the time on the invitation is late, so you have the whole night basically before you have to get there.
Yeah, I was thinking, if we could go by the kids
Early then.
to check on them,
yeah. I'd like to check on the kids too.
and then after we're done with the kids, we could zip over to this French restaurant.
Okay, so
Does that sound doable?
it does indeed sound
Sounds
doable,
good to me.
although there's plenty of time for you to accomplish other things as well.
Oh, okay.
So you guys are heading out. Now, the foster home of Tracy and her brother is located deep in the northeast of Philadelphia. So the drive is not a short one. It takes you through Camarilla territory, through contested Camarilla territory, and then into contested Anarch territory. But these are not Anarchs that you know. So this is not necessarily any friendlier of a part of town to you. You drive, go past Guilt, or the turnoff to where Guilt is, and you head into a suburb. It's a fairly nice suburb. When you get in, the houses are all kind of not quite McMansions, but they are not small. These are not inconsiderate houses. The type of, most of them are, 4 3-bedrooms, 2.5 baths. All of them have a yard, both a front yard and a backyard to go with them. Double car garages for everybody. Well manicured lawns. Yeah, this is not what you would consider to be an economically depressed area,
Yeah.
let's say. Which immediately causes some amount of questioning, as people who tend to live in very, very nice, affluent neighborhoods don't tend to foster kids.
Mm-hmm.
The address, when you drive up to it, is it's a 2-story house where the lower level is bigger than the upper level, so there's kind of some room on the roof to walk around. There's a deck, there's a porch.
Dude, did you go Google my house for this? Because you were describing my house.
No. No, because I've never at any point said it's on fire.
How'd you know my house was on fire?
Um, so you, the house, the lights are on, everything. It's early enough in the evening. People are still walking out on the streets. People are walking around. So, how do you guys want to approach this?
I'm taking Idaho's lead. I mean, this is kind of his personal matter, so I'm here to support however he needs me to, but I don't want to get in the way or make any calls.
Yeah, and I want to. I'm curious about the kids as well since this new development. I know I kind of stayed away from it and kept my head out of the situation, but yeah.
I mean, since it's not super late, it's not going to be as easy to sneak around, I don't imagine, because it's just
Do our
that
radios work out here?
Nah.
it's not too long after sundown, is it? So it's
No.
still pretty early in the evening.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could just
so-
knock on the door, man.
Well, and I was going to say, so now we're at the point, we're starting to head to the time in the year where the sun in Philadelphia and in the Northeast is going down way earlier than it would previously. So during the summer, sun didn't go down till, 8:30, 9 p.m. sometimes. You'd still have some daylight out. You'd have the sun coming up at 4 a.m. on some of the earliest times. Now you're starting to hit the point where 7 p.m., sun's gone.
Yeah.
So there is a lot more time for you to operate in, which is nice. But the downside of that is it also means that you have a lot more opportunities of inconvenience, shall we say, to end up running into people who you might not ordinarily have to deal with. This is one of those times.
Well, I'm sure that we've already been extremely subtle cruising through this suburban neighborhood in a hearse.
In a hearse.
Well, and I was going to say, did you take the hearse or did you take the Charger?
I mean, I think that I don't know. I mean, I feel like initially I was going to go with the hearse, but I also was thinking, because the last time we approached and did this whole stuff and like Al came along and we messed with the memories and everything, it was pretty late.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little different. But, whatever. I don't care. Unless one of them would have brought it up, like, do you think we should take a different car? I think the hearse is fine. Why not?
Okay.
Any noticeable activity from the house?
Not from now. The house is far enough back that it would be difficult to see anything from the street. It is on a little bit of an upward slope.
Okay.
So from the street, there's a little bit of an upward slope. There's bushes. There's a tree in the front yard. There's nothing going on the porch that you can see. The only noticeable activity is that there are people, there are kids that are playing down the street. There are people who are out walking their dogs, who are, getting their steps in for their Fitbits.
Say, well, I don't know how much I explained to you guys, but the whole reason I wanted to come out here was because there was a report filed on the older girl. What was her name again?
Tracy.
That she ran away. They found her and she had some bruises on her. She says that when she ran away, she came across a homeless person and got into a fight. And that's how she got the bruises. And she was returned to the home. I suppose it's possible that could have happened, or there could be another reason she has bruises on her. So I really don't want to interrupt what's going on here if it's a good thing. But if it's not a good thing, then yeah, I want to interrupt it. What would be nice to just kind of go in and see if we can see what's going on inside the house. Either, find one of the kids. If they're alone, maybe we could talk to them. So I could try to sneak up there, or maybe one of you guys could do it since you're probably better suited to that kind of thing.
Hmm.
The bedroom. I assume bedrooms on the second floor. They're upstairs.
Probably.
I mean, without actually going into the house, there's no way to know what
There's
the
no way to
what the
know.
internal layout is.
So,
But realistically, most houses have bedrooms on the second floor, so that is a safe bet. Let's say that.
so we have to do we have to reenact the scene from the Lost Boys where one of us is floating outside. The
Well, I was gonna say if it's on the second floor, I might just be able to lift Al onto the roof.
So yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing it, but
Or you could go get in the neighbor's yard and yeet one of them in an arc across the front into the house next door on the other side.
We have to figure out the most complicated way to do this, and we have to do it the most complicated way possible.
Victor catapult.
Yeah. So yeah, if one of you guys or both of you wouldn't mind, since you're better equipped at stealth than I am, if you wouldn't mind just maybe going and see if you can assess who's in there, what's going on, that kind of thing.
If I can get on the roof quietly enough and it's as dark as we say it is, then I should have cover. And I could possibly kind of scoot around some different windows. There was a balcony mentioned, I think.
There is a porch and there is a deck.
Okay, but nothing on the... So yeah, I mean, I can just try to creep around some windows, see what I can see inside.
Okay, so some real quick questions before we start playing the Mission Impossible thing. Where are you parking?
Well,
I'm not trying.
You got to stay 3 or 4 houses down.
Yeah, but what difference does that make? I mean,
because if we get caught and we even make it to the car, they're going to see a hearse, and that's a pretty distinctive vehicle to call out if we get caught.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, here's just the way I'm thinking about this, because this seems so much like my own neighborhood. I'm just freaking out right now. If something happened in one of the houses on my street, then we would all compare notes in the car, and if there was a weird car out of the ordinary, we would all know about it. Now, I don't know that this neighborhood is the same, so I guess I'm sort of, letting a little bit of me bleed into Idaho. But
that's why I was gonna say, like, the street on the other, like, not the street the house is on, but if there's a house behind it, what about that street? The house behind the.
All right, so I'm gonna put my corn CD in and turn it up as loud as I can, and just turn the bass up super loud and roll the windows down, and we'll drive to the other house.
Which one? Issues?
Oh. Well, clearly that's what I have. So yeah, we'll go. That's a good idea. We'll go park at another street, but I'm going to go on foot, but not go into the house, because I just want to kind of hang around out front in case, one of the kids could be out.
Oh, just stake out at first.
Or could come out. So while one or both of you are kind of peeking in on the house, I'll just hang around outside just in case.
Okay.
Who knows? One of the kids could come strolling up, or, Tracy at least. I don't think that the young kid would be out, but Tracy might come strolling up.
Cold in my room.
Who knows?
Okay, so here's a really quick question for you. So you're splitting the party, so to speak. You're basically just going to be kind of walking around the neighborhood in the near area, just kind of trying to check things out, Idaho, correct?
Yeah, I'm mainly going to stay by the front of the house, because if I see one of the kids, but I don't want to seem like I'm just parked in their front yard.
Got it.
Kind of strolling around, maybe trying to be a little subtle about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Next time we should get a hard hat and like some spray paint and just go out in the street and act like you're some sort of like city worker, like, marking the street for maintenance.
Or given his background, he could put on the city worker cap, and you could put on the police officer outfit, and Al could put on the Native American outfit.
And it'll be the YMCA, right? YMCA. No one will notice that.
So, obviously, if you can't tell, this is a very different feel than Mondays.
Oh my God.
So you're kind of wandering around the neighborhood in the local area. Vic, Al, how are you approaching the house?
I'm wondering if I should go invisible. Use my obfuscation powers. It's a gamble.
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, I have points in stealth, but I was just leaving the sneakiness to the people that are better at it than I am.
Let's do it. Unseen passage.
Since the last time that you did this and tried to be stealthy, for almost this exact same reason, Idaho, you face planted in the window.
No, I did my rouse check for unseen passage. I actually succeeded, so I'm not any hungrier.
So not any hungrier.
I was hoping I wouldn't get too hungry around the kids. I was like, this is a gamble.
I've got Quell the Beast. Don't worry about it. We're good. That always works.
60% of the time, it works every time. Okay, so unseen passage. Are you also doing cloak of shadows to go along with it?
I thought unseen passage, I thought cloak of shadows is when you're standing still and doesn't require a rouse check. Cloak of shadows is when you're moving and requires the rouse check.
I think unseen passage.
Unseen passage, right? So I think unseen passage is just a step up from cloak of shadows. Like I'm still. I mean, I'll do both if it needs to be. If there's something in cloak of shadows.
I think they actually impart separate, slightly different.
But cloak of shadows is like I have to stand perfectly still. So if I'm moving, I can't employ it. I can only do it while I'm standing still.
Something I really hate about the vampire book is that they will give you a mark for the disciplines, but then they won't submark like where Auspex is. So every single time I have to just fucking roll. Yes, unseen passage basically gives you functional invisibility. So no, so you are correct. So basically, the only things that you have to worry about is you can't emit any overpowering odors, and no sounds that are louder than a whisper.
Okay.
So, so you're going to use unseen passage. Alice, how are you going to approach this problem?
I can't hear you well.
Hold on, checking levels.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh. I don't know what I clicked on. Okay. Anyway, I'm kind of envisioning like a Ferris Bueller style, like if we're parked on the opposing street, kind of sneaking through the yard of that house, hopping the fence into the backyard of the kid's house, and then eating my way up to. Well, I think I'll sneak probably around the first floor first and just see if it even looks like anybody's home or anything like that. Sorry.
So I will say this: you can tell that people are you okay? You can't tell if people are home, but there are definitely cars in the driveway and the lights are on. So
okay, then yeah, I can probably, and I'll use my cloaking shit if I need to.
Okay, so are you going to or are you not? Because you could just roll stealth for this.
I mean, I can try the stealth roll, and if I fail, what's?
There will be consequences.
Can you, when someone does like the unseen passage, do they just like disappear from sight?
So unseen. So here is the weird thing about unseen passage is it doesn't work if you're looking.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding? What are we on the Mystery Men now?
So
yeah, no, that's you can't be. No one can see you while you go invisible. If you try to go invisible while someone's watching, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's considered because that's considered a perception test because they can see you. then if you're trying to stealth, then they already know where you are.
Man, that's too bad. That'd be hilarious. Knock on the door, and if somebody sees you, just whoop, disappear.
So what's the safer bet?
The safer bet is to do unseen passage. Probably.
I was gonna say go in unseen passage. I mean, unseen passage immediately grants you invisibility, basically. However, the flip side of that is you are still again constrained to if you make any sounds that are louder than a whisper.
Yeah.
But if you're invisible and I'm invisible, we need to be holding hands, or we're not going to be able to see each other.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to yeet me over the fence.
Right. So I'll hold her hand, and I'm kind of.
Then you're gonna just have to Hulk jump, that push off, and just lay it in the backyard, smashing lawn furniture.
So basically, Vic and Al have to look away from each other and then turn invisible.
Yeah, basically.
That's so cool. I love it.
Okay.
So roll your rouse check.
I'll just roll his.
Yeah. You're perfectly fine. So you two are, I'm assuming, holding hands.
Yeah.
And heading. So the plan was, just to clarify, you were going to go through the backyard of the people who are on the behind them,
where we've parked the car.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're going to sneak through there, hop that fence, and go into that backyard of that house, and then try to get up onto the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. So the house behind doesn't have a fence per se. It's got a chain link fence. It's easy to navigate. There's no actual gate to it. It's when you're walking up the driveway. The one thing that it does kind of stand out, that's maybe not noteworthy per se, but it seems like the houses on this particular block are a little smaller. They're not as nice. They're not. This is not to say that they're. This is across the railroad tracks or anything like that. But this is definitely, these houses are maybe a little older. They're a little more less well upkept. The yards are a little not as perfectly manicured. Maybe older people are living back here. This house, as you're going through the backyard, the lights are already off in the house. Maybe there's nobody there. There's a car in the driveway, but that doesn't mean that there are people there. But the backyard is basically, there's no landscaping to speak of. It's a very, very shallow patio with a charcoal grill on it and grass. So when you're going across, it is basically a straight path to you. However, at the back of that, the fence that is between the houses, that is a 8-foot privacy fence. So, how are you guys going to scale this?
It'd be easy enough for me to lift her over, but me getting over after lifting her up is going to be difficult.
And along this back fence, is there no gate for the wooden one? Like sometimes when there's a through between the houses, like they'll put a backing gate.
No, there's nothing
Okay.
like that.
Okay, just checking.
And we can't talk to each other either anymore, so.
Now.
No, we can speak whispers.
Yes, nothing louder than a whisper.
Okay.
So you can theoretically whisper to one another, although if you try to bend your ears or bend your heads towards one another, be careful that you don't knock skulls.
Yeah. He'll knock a big old hole in my head.
Obviously, like as a regular human, I could easily jump over like a 2-foot fence, but not a 8-foot fence. But Vic is a very, very strong vampire. Can he not just jump over the fence?
So here's the issue with that. Now, here's a question: does Vic have soaring leap? Because I thought he did.
No, I do not.
So it really would. Be
I
more
thought you
about-
did too. That's weird.
I do not.
I
have
swear to
soaring.
God, I thought you had soaring link.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Weird.
It's really not a question of getting over there, because getting over an 8-foot fence should be no problem. It's doing it without making a whole lot of
Making
noise.
noise.
Yeah, I mean, if he really wanted to, he could basically grab the top of the fence and just hoist himself over.
Yeah.
But in the process thereof of throwing himself basically over the side, he's gonna, when he lands, he's gonna make a bigger sound than a whisper. He's gonna reveal himself.
Well, poop.
Where does the security fence? Which house does the security fence surround? Is it part of the yard that we came into, or part of the yard that we're trying to get into?
That you're trying to get into. The yard that you're
there's-
in has just kind of a rinky-dink chain link
So
fence.
this house is going to have this 8-foot security fence going all the way around it. There's no way to like, yeah. I was thinking
Okay.
if it was the house that we came
What
into, we could try going through different fences.
Yeah.
What
But
if?
it's around the house we're trying to get into?
Okay. So what if you yeet me over and then you walk the block and stake out the other side of the house? That way, when I need down, you can catch me and we can just make our way around the block again. Just act all fucking normal and shit. Just
Okay.
out for
I
a
can
walk.
put
La
you-
da 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 da.
Instead of yeeting you over, because I don't want you to make too loud of a sound when you hit the ground, I can lift you over, and then you can let yourself down gently from the other
Question:
side.
is any part of the house, the roofing, come anywhere near the fence, or is there a tree that's in between?
So if you were going to say, if you were on top of the fence and you were going to try to walk that will be a roll if you try to do that, BT dubs.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yes, you could theoretically. There is a place where you could. It'd be a little bit of a jump, but it would be a completely doable jump to go from the top of the fence to a point.
Oh shit. Ooh, looks like we lost everybody. Let's refresh. Whoopsie doopsie. Hmm.
Did everybody get yeeted?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't just me then.
You guys, I'm gonna refresh again because you guys still have like errors over your faces. Okay.
Whatever it was, it kicked everybody.
Yeah.
Seems like it. So
Weird. Like
Okay.
all of a sudden, everybody just disappeared.
I gotta
Yeah,
refresh
the
one
whole
more
room
time.
dropped.
He's
We
still
all
got
had
an
to
error. Hold
refresh.
on. Let's get those errors to go away. There we go. Yeah, you guys still had errors even after you came back. So you had like big exclamation points on your faces.
Like I reloaded it, and then it's still like your guys' pictures were at the bottom, but there's no video.
Is
Okay.
it still like that, or is it back to normal?
No, it's back to normal. I had to
Yeah.
reload it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That privacy fence sucked.
Okay.
Screw it. Let's just go to the front door.
Okay. So yeah, if I can make that little bit of a if I can close in that gap and make the I can't talk, the roof, yeah, I'll roll for that. And then once I'm up there, do I need to roll again to go back under cloak?
No, you would stay.
Okay. Yeah,
Pending successful rolls.
Yes. Okay, so let's do that. What
Okay,
am I
so-
rolling?
So just to recap, what is happening? So Vic,
Mhm.
you are lifting her up onto the fence,
Mhm.
and then she is now going to have And other thing to note here is that when you do this, you're going to break contact, which means at this point you'll no longer be able to know where the other is.
Right.
Okay.
But we do have our phones, so What I'm getting at is if something happens between any of the three of us, we should have a means to like text and say, "Get the fuck out of there!" You know, shit's going down, or
Definitely.
Okay, so you are now on top of the fence. Now this is like every wooden fence in the world, where it basically alternates back and forth between the two, and there's basically two thick wooden slats that go down. Didn't feel like I needed to really explain how a fence works, but just in case there was.
Well, there are many types, you know.
Yeah, my fence actually is not like that. So now I know you did not go on Google.
He had to sprinkle in just enough deceit to make you think. He's like, "I'll fuck that fence up. That's what I'll do."
Mm-hmm.
Your fence didn't work for the story.
Yeah. Hey, knock it down for all I give a shit.
Neither does your house, which is on fire. Anyways, so this is going to be Dex and man, you have
athletics.
She has no points in athletics.
Oh shit.
Okay, so this is going to be actually. I guess it's just gonna be your Dex, as there's nothing else that. I guess we could actually say it's Dex and Stealth because you're probably also trying to not make any sound, so it'll be a 2-2 roll.
Okay.
Or excuse me,
3-1 roll. 3-1, yeah.
3-1.
But because you have nothing in athletics, this is the difficulty level for this. The target number is going to be reasonably difficult.
Uh-oh.
You can rouse the blood.
I'm just gonna close my eyes and listen to y'all's reaction.
You could rouse the blood to increase your dexterity.
I'm in a 1, so yeah, fuck it.
Okay, rouse the blood.
Look at that.
Hey.
So your dexterity is increased for the duration of the scene. So you're looking at what is it? 3-2, so 4-1.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm still gonna close my eyes. Oh, come on, cursor. There we go. Too scared.
No.
Wow.
Damn, 0 successes. That sucks.
I was gonna say you only wish that you were you weren't breaking into this house. You wish you were breaking into like the museum or a bank.
There was no
money
suspense.
heist. Money heist.
We already know that Pix is the best roller in the group, so there was no suspense for that.
That's the thing, though. When I fail spectacularly.
I love it.
So, Vic lifts you up, and you get your footing on top of the fence, and then step by step, clean, walking down, hook it, go down the side of the fence. You get to the portion where there's a jump. It's not even a question. It's an easy jump. As you push off the fence, you make sure land hands first, and as soon as your hands touch, you push up, so your knees don't hit the fence or the wall or anything like that. You're on the roof. It looks like you've done this 1,000 times.
Oh my gosh! I silenced you. Damn phone. Okay.
So,
meanwhile, Vic tripped over an ant bed.
And landed face first in another ant bed.
He's still cops here.
So, meanwhile, out Idaho, as you're walking through the neighborhood.
Be right back.
Trying to look nothing like a drug dealer.
You notice that you yourself have picked up a little bit of a tail.
Really?
It is a kind of middle-aged woman. She looks like she's maybe late 30s, early 40s. She's got kind of a bob, like a messy bob. It's cut to her chin. hair kind of dyed messy blonde, but its like roots are really showing. She looks like she's dressed, you know, Target chic.
So really fancy.
Fancy you can get for a 20. And at first you think that maybe she's just out walking, as there are so many other people. You've walked by other people, said hi, they've said hi. Nothing really doing. This particular woman, you've noticed, seems to be keeping almost a perfect distance from you. Like it's become really obvious within just a couple minutes that she's specifically staying about a house and a half back. You know, she is stopping when you stop. She's walking when you walk. So what are you going to do?
Well, so my assumption, I'm not looking for clarification, but my assumption is that she's someone who lives here and she sees me and she doesn't recognize me, so she thinks something suspicious is going on, so she's just following me. Like any good member of the neighborhood would do. So it's obviously after dark. What's the street light situation? Is it like every few houses, or what is it?
So the neighborhood. Yes, there are street lights on the street, but in addition to that, with very, very few exceptions, there are lights on in all of the houses. Some of the houses have those kind of like floodlights that are over the garage that shine down onto the driveway.
Motion activated.
Some of them aren't even motion activated. Some of them are just on. So there is not a lack of light here. It's easy to see everybody that's out. There's, when cars drive by, there is some traffic coming down the streets occasionally. It's not like there's there's long shadows everywhere or anything like that. It's not daylight.
Yeah,
But it is
be in trouble.
So
well, here's my thought, and you can tell me if this works or not, because I'm still just amazed how much this sounds like my own neighborhood. Is it possible, because you say there's some of the houses have like those floodlights on their garages, which again, some people here have those too. I know, at least in my experience, right when you pass one of those lights, because those lights shine out really strong in one direction.
Right.
That what's immediately on the other side of that can be difficult to see because that bright light is flashing right in your eyes.
That's fair.
So what I would like to do, almost more like to see if I can do it and to maybe fuck with this lady, and I will not do it in front of the target house. I'll go down a couple of houses or something. As soon as I pass the scope of one of those floodlights, I want to kind of duck to the left or the right or whatever I need to do depending on the situation, and see if I can screw with her a little bit and just kind of get away from her notice.
Okay, so when you say you're going to duck out of the way, are you like going to try to like dodge behind some cars, or are you just like dodging into somebody's yard, or
whatever? I'm kind of just doing this to sort of screw with her a little bit. So whatever's convenient. If there's nothing else around, I'll just try to duck to the side of the house that has the floodlight.
Okay,
if there is something around, like a car or whatever, I'll kind of go behind the car, just whatever.
You're the one, actually. It's you who has Saurian leap. Okay, so this is going to be. I would say this would be Dex and Stealth. Wait, hold on. I'm going to change that. This would be Dex and Subterfuge, because you are deliberately attempting to
mess with.
Yeah. So.
I have 3 in Subterfuge. Awesome. My Dex is a 2. Yeah, I guess I'll just go with that. I won't rouse the blood.
Okay. So 5, so 3 and 2.
She's just a regular, Karen. I mean, she can't be that astute.
I was thinking she was a Karen too. Yeah.
Ooh, is that enough? I'm happy to roll some more.
I was gonna say,
You can re-roll 2.
I was gonna say, do you want to re-roll 2 just to make sure that you're?
Yeah. I would love. I'm just kind of screwing around. I would love to just totally mess with their head. Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
All right, so that is more than enough to pull off what you're trying to do here. So the you get past these floodlights, and there happens to be like a large like a Ford F-150, except it's one of the ones that's like super jacked up, fucking, it's
Hot under the wheel well.
the huge wheels. So when you go past the lights, you were able to you basically just go straight behind the vehicle, and then you can basically kind of circle around it. So just to clarify, so are you going to basically hide behind the vehicle and wait for her to pass, or what are you trying to do? How are you trying to accomplish this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still just kind of screwing with her. So, I mean, if I go around the vehicle and then make noise, she'll hear me. So,
Right.
I'm gonna just kind of try to dodge away from her perception and then go to as totally as silent as I can. I mean, I'm a vampire. I imagine I can be pretty damn quiet, and just kind of see what she does. Is she gonna keep walking?
But you're also Idaho, so can you really be quiet?
Well, I can't, but I mean, as a vampire.
So you go around the truck and you basically like kind of hide. She keeps walking, and after putting her, okay, so basically now the tables have turned. She's walking forward and you're behind her. When she gets about another house down after that, she kind of looks around, and she's kind of like, from where your vantage point, you can see, she's on her phone, she's talking to somebody about this, and now she's like looking around like, he just disappeared, where'd he go?
I'm just gonna keep my eyes on her for now. What else is she doing?
Well, now she's continuing to walk and obviously look for you. So are you gonna?
But I mean, she's still going the same way. She didn't double back, right?
No.
I'm just gonna let her disappear. I'm gonna remain quiet and just stand right here, and as she continues down the street.
Okay. So, meanwhile, in somebody else's backyard, Vic, what are you doing? So you've managed to put Alice on the fence. You have no idea if Alice was successful or not. So what are you doing?
I guess I'm walking around the long way to the front of the house.
Okay. Are you going to stay concealed, or are you going to?
I might as well. I mean, no one can see me. I might as well stay concealed. So I'll keep walking.
Okay. When you're walking, are you being as direct as possible, basically going back out the gate, walking down the sidewalk, and then going around?
Same way that I came in from the yard, and then like down the sidewalk, around.
Okay, so you're not like trying to stealth through the yards and stay.
No, I'd probably be going the same route Idaho took to get around to the front of the house. I'd just be doing it invisible.
Okay. All right, that's going to take you a moment to do that. So Al,
Yo.
you're on the roof. What are you doing now?
As stealthy as I can, just kind of peeking in windows, getting a scope for like maybe where the kid's bedroom is. Obviously keeping eyes peeled to see who's in the house, if I can see anyone.
So when you get to the window, there is the lights that are inside in the bedroom that you peek into, which you think is a bedroom, are dark. But as you get closer, it's actually an office.
Okay.
It is very, very ornate, way more ornate than you would have expected for this house, certainly. Desk is exceedingly, it's very, very large. Double monitor setup. Both of them are curved monitors. The the like leather, like stuffed leather chair. The walls are covered in a library of books, except for one particular spot on the wall. It is offset from kind of the rest of the room. There's like a library of books that goes all the way around. And then on the wall, and you wouldn't see it when you walk in if you walk through the door, because the door would basically go over it. On that wall is what almost looks like a sunburst of knives, swords, bayonets. It is a not insubstantial number of them.
And can I tell how old they are? These like antique pieces? Like he's obviously a collector.
No, these all look like they are. These don't look like they're antiques.
Okay.
If they're antiques, then they have been so well shined and polished as to be basically renovated.
Okay.
Like these are.
I just kind of had the notion that if these were older pieces, then that might lend to someone in the house possibly being a vampire. They've been around a long time. They're collecting this kind of stuff. That was kind of where I was leading with that questioning. I mean, yeah, if there's nothing else notable in the room, I'll keep working my way to the next window.
Okay. When you get to the next window, there is a light on. The room is, it looks like a spare bedroom. There's doesn't appear to be anything particularly noteworthy about it. The bed is made. The side table, the decorations are certainly a little sparse. And in terms of the way that it looks from like an economic standpoint, like looking at the office, which looked like somebody had dumped a metric shit ton of money into that, and then coming and looking at the spare bedroom, and it looks like somebody spent as little as they possibly could have just to make it livable. It's a little it's a little jarring.
Okay.
But they're also, it is as plain and bare as it possibly could be. There's no knives on the wall. There's no decorations. There's no pictures. It is very plain.
All right. What's the next window?
The next window is what looks like the master bathroom. Again, kind of a weird switch going from one to another and then all the way back. This place is just completely like, it's got like a separate tub with like a kind of a jacuzzi setup. It's got a separate standing shower. There's two vanities there for a man and a woman. It looks like from where you're sitting, there might be a walk-in closet. Like it is a really, really nice and very, very tastefully decorated master bath. Now, from here, you can see a door that's closed that goes between the two, which you can only assume would go into the actual bedroom.
Okay, so working my way around, we're gonna hopefully see some signs of the kids at some point. Shit.
The next window is actually, now at this point you're kind of going around the side, coming up on the front. So the next window you come to is actually on the front of the house.
Okay.
And it is looking through the window down into the stairwell of the house.
Okay.
This is a little bit more lit up. It looks like every family that you've ever seen that had the pictures going up the stairwell of all of the people, and it looks very, very plain. Wood floors, no carpet to speak of. Make a
perception check.
Make a wit and insight
What's that?
check. So 4, 2, 6, so 5 and 1.
Ooh. Wow. Again.
Something immediately stands out to you. All the pictures, well, there are 2 people in the pictures that are obviously whoever lives here, or whoever lives here is very fond of these 2 people, but they're in all of the pictures. But in none of the rest of the pictures are there the same 2 people. And in fact, in none of the other pictures are there any continual pictures. So other than those 2 people, every single set of pictures that goes all the way up the stairwell, it's different people.
Can I tell if they're like the stock photo that came with the
frame?
I mean,
no.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's so awesome.
Hey, what better way to make a vamp house look more real? Like,
Yes,
oh yeah, that's
I
my
love it.
cousins from like Jersey. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Come on.
awesome. That's awesome.
Had to check. Okay, so you say it's well lit. Using my cell phone, would I be able to zoom in and get photos of the photos?
No. At this point you'd be between the glare of the window.
Okay. Yeah.
Trying to get up small. I mean, no.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will note that and keep making my way around, trying to get off the front of the house as fast as possible. Not off, but around.
Are they pictures of regular people? Are they pictures of kids?
It's a variety of people.
Okay.
The next window is what you think might be the kids or a kid's room.
Okay.
It is a little spacious. There are beds on both sides of the room. And the room is kind of separated, like it's almost like they took a converted like something that was the size of like a living room, and then converted it into a space for 2 people to live in. Because there's beds on both sides of the room. There's dressers in the corners, and kind of down in the middle, where there's the dividing, there is not an overly large, but is a larger sized flat screen TV with a couple different older video game consoles. The controllers are strewn on the floor. There's some beanbag chairs that are there.
Now you say some. Are we just saying one bed on each wall, or are we talking about multiple beds? Like this is like a big setup.
One bed.
Okay. Yeah, at this point,
Okay. In that room, there is a little boy. You've seen him before. He's probably 7 or so, who is sitting in one of the beanbag chairs. He has a headset on. He's playing some sort of first-person shooter.
Okay. So at this point, making sure my flash is off, I want to snap a couple of pics into the room so that, I have something to share with Idaho. I'm not looking for super detailed, and hopefully we're coming off the front of the house where it's really bright light. So is that going to work?
Yeah. So from
Okay.
here, the light is and with the way you're taking the picture, the light is kind of diffuse in the room enough that you're just snapping kind of a general shot, even if it wouldn't be super detailed. You'd be able to get a shot to at least, say, oh, hey, look, there was somebody in the room. We know who this is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So once I've got that, and obviously, I mean, if no one else is in the room with the kid, I'm not sensing that he's threatened, so I'm going to keep moving.
There's no more windows up top.
Up top. Okay. Is there anything around at this point that I could safely jump to get to the ground, like a tree house,
Before you leave, sorry, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of metagaming a little bit, but don't you have like an ability to like sense what people are seeing or thinking or hearing or stuff like that?
That's the tricky thing with that is it's just strictly senses. I can't get emotions. I can't get thoughts. If I'm seeing that all he's doing, he's got his headset on and he's playing a video game. Okay. So I'm only gonna hear music or the game. I'm only gonna see his point of view of playing the game. I don't sense how that's gonna help me right now.
Okay. Now I missed the headset part. I was just thinking you get ears in the house.
Now,
you've never ever heard somebody cuss somebody else on Xbox Live.
Yeah. At this point, that would be hopefully more useful if I can get to the first floor and peek in some of the first floor, and we see some people in there. That's where that can come into play. So at this point, I'm just looking for the safest, quietest way to get down.
Okay, so there is at the front, there is a tree that is probably about 10 feet out, with some pretty big, thick branches. But this is going to present two separate issues for you. One, jumping to this tree and going through the branches is obviously going to make more sound than a whisper, which means it will immediately drop your invisibility. Two, you can see the light from the front windows coming in, which means if you did this, anybody who would happen to be right there is likely going to see right out the front door or front windows. And of course, the other issue is as you're standing there on the roof looking around, there are people who are meandering around on the street here. So
has Vic made his way around the block yet?
He's working on it.
Yeah, I probably haven't made it all the way there yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, I'm gonna text Vic and be like, get your stealthy ass over here. I gotta get down off this roof.
Working on it.
I mean, I'm out front. I'm not out front. I don't know.
I can't respond.
You said you were still 2 houses down.
Am I?
You are maybe a little further down than that, but yeah, you are within visual distance of the house. You obviously can't see Alice because she's invisible.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, if I could be of any assistance, like whether or not there's people looking out the living room window.
Okay, then let's say that I sent the message to both of you that I'm stuck on the roof, need help down.
Okay, I can't respond, so.
Yeah, I can speak in a whisper. I could, hey, Vic, come get me, Vic. Send voice text.
Turns his volume all the way up. So I'll make my way back over there, assuming Karen's disappeared and down the street.
Yes, Karen is still looking for you, but she's now heading in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little hungry. If she comes back and wants to push it, I'll just eat her. Okay, so I'll make my way back to the house just to kind of scope out the front.
So when you crawl up to, or when you walk up to the front,
no, I was crawling.
Now
He's on the ground, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Karen sees you and is definitely calling the police.
Like, what, a guy can't crawl in America? What the hell?
In somebody else's yard.
Maybe if I put a mask on. Okay, anyway.
So when you go up to the front, you've got, in order to get up to the front, so there's, like I said, it's on a little bit of an incline here. You've got the tree, then there's the porch, and the windows. There's line the windows. So where are you just trying to basically walk up as far as you can to be able to see into the house?
Yeah, I'm just kind of slowly moseying my way up, keeping an eye out for people walking around, and keeping an eye out for, looking at the house, because I assume that if I'm at a point where I can see someone, they would also be able to see me.
Right.
And kind of keeping an eye and an ear out also for Al, because that's why I came over here, because I don't know where she is on the roof. I just know that she needs help.
Okay, so when you get up to the front, you can see basically into kind of like a dining room area where there's a kid table. It looks like there's already been placemats and everything set out. There's a kitchen that's behind it. You can see it's kind of like an open plan for this area here. So you can see into the kitchen. In the kitchen, you see a woman. She's probably late 30s, early 40s, maybe even a little older than that, who is dressed perhaps maybe a little conservatively, not matronly, just not particularly stylishly, let's say. Now, Idaho, the thing that immediately jumps out, and normally I would say this is a roll, but given your character's history, this is something that would immediately jump out to you, is she has a steel ring that goes around her neck.
Does it have a little dangly bit in the front?
She is facing away from you, so you can't see, but you definitely know that ring.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So now I'm kind of wondering how these people pass the interview process for foster care, but all right. But that's it. That's all I see at this point.
Yes, you do not see anybody else. She is in the kitchen making food, it would appear. No sign of anybody else.
Okay. I'm going to text back to Al and say, I'm in the front yard. If there's anything I can do to help. I mean,
is there enough darkness on either one of the sides of the house? Are either of the sides of the house kind of cloaked in shadow or darkness?
So because the light is going forward, it is very similar to what Idaho had. If you went off the side, you could probably find a dark place to drop.
Okay.
But the drop is going to...
No. My goal is texting, since Idaho just texted me, I'm texting back. Can you hit up one of the dark sides of the house and catch me?
You're going to ask Idaho to catch you.
Well, he said he's here. He said he's at the house.
Yeah, I've got a strength.
I'm giving him insight into come around to the dark side of the house.
Okay. Let's do this.
Oh,
so
boy.
I'm gonna run the other direction.
Either way, I mean, he flubs either way, he flubs the catch, and I just fall on him. So I'm protected. I don't know.
Yeah. And since all I am is skin and bone, so you're gonna get stabbed. I mean, so all right, I'm gonna go over
bony
there
hips.
Al, where are you?
Wait, hold on. So Al, are you going to drop unseen passage before you jump off, or are you gonna
jump on me?
Well, I can see him. He can't see me. So if I can whisper, "Hey, stop right there. Stop right there."
Yeah.
Cannonball.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the idea is to try to get her down, and so that her unseen. Oh wait, well, once she lands on me, her unseen patches is going to break anyway, isn't it?
Pretty much. And then I'll have to recast.
Yeah, so you could might as well.
I didn't know why you just wait for me, but it's cool.
Yeah, because
Hey, I asked you to get your ass over there. I'm taking first. I'm just taking.
You know, I don't know
Alice
where-
is like, don't want to get caught. First come, first serve. Let's go.
like, Vic, where are you? Did the neighborhood watch get you?
Okay, so Alice is gonna jump off. So Idaho.
Oh my god.
This is going to be your strength and
Dodge. I'm gonna dodge it at the last minute.
Why couldn't these rich bastards have a trampoline?
Yeah.
I would say this is going to be strength and brawl.
What? Dude.
It wouldn't be more of a
Alright.
grapple?
Hang on. Well, I don't have either one of those.
Grappling is brawling. Grappling
wait.
is a brawling special.
I'm going.
Oh,
to-
it's a specialty of. Okay.
I'm gonna send a whisper text to Vic too and go, Vic, where are you? Are you near the house?
I'm on the way.
Wait, hold on. No, it wouldn't be. This will be a slightly better roll for you, but not by much. This would be strength and awareness, since you're attempting to catch something that you can't see.
I'll just drop freaking spells before you jump.
If you think we're not gonna get caught, okay.
No, I'm counting on it. Makes it more exciting.
Yeah. Screw
Alfred's
it. I start
like
getting
the Macho Man.
I start getting frustrated that Idaho is wandering around like
that fucking
this.
elbow.
And I'm
Yeah,
just
if I-
like
if I found-
I'm just
if I
like
found
fuck it. And so I reveal myself. It's magic.
Okay, so now I can see her. So does that improve things?
I mean, yes. I mean, so
What if I rouse the blood?
so I was gonna say you can indeed rouse the blood to
I could do it.
increase your strength.
Oh, strength. Not academics.
No.
All right, I'm already at 100 too. Let's do this.
He's gonna beast out and rip me in half.
I'm gonna rip in half the guy that lives in this house.
You do realize that if you'd waited for me, I'd be rolling 11 dice, right?
I mean, I don't have a problem waiting.
So
If that's your
Yeah, that's
prerogative,
very
Idaho,
good.
like you could just be like, let's wait for Vic. Just shut up.
I mean, I did text to say, Vic, how close are you? And all he said was he's on his way. I mean, we knew that. You've been on your way this whole time.
okay.
Yeah,
so
that's
you-
what I
are
said
you-
last time too. I don't-
Yeah.
Are you going to wait? Because if you're gonna wait, then we'll say that you didn't rouse the blood.
All right. I'll go, okay, so before Al drops stealth, but I'll kind of whisper, because do I hear her? Does she hear me? Are we close enough for that?
You could probably competently communicate, even if not by whisper, through your phones. So we'll
Yeah.
say,
So I'll say, Vic is on his way. Just wait a little bit. He'll be here.
okay. So you're not rousing the hunger.
We're going to go the boring way.
Going meta. Meta.
I know
Okay.
Zach wants to do it the boring way. Oh my
So
God.
Zach, by about this point, you have now been able to come around, walking up the street, to find, and you can see. So you can walk up to the front yard to see Idaho kind of standing off to the side,
I'll walk over
seemingly
to him.
like looking up into the sky, like he's waiting for a sign from God for something
Yeah.
to fall out of the sky. So
I'll walk up beside him and tap him on the shoulder.
Oh, you're like, that better be Vic.
Idaho screams like a little girl.
If it's Karen, if it's Karen. I mean,
Okay.
I don't want to look at him. Oh well, y'all are gonna come out of stealth anyway.
Yeah, he tapped you on the shoulder, so
Yep.
that will break it.
That's
Okay,
it.
So I'll go.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Oh, that breaks it.
yeah.
When you touch someone and get their attention, like yeah.
Oh, then I'd whisper. I didn't know that tapping him on the shoulder would break it. I was trying to
well,
like.
when Al jumps on you, it's gonna break it. Why are you guys?
Yeah, we're both fucked. You're fine.
Okay.
Okay, whatever.
So this is going to be, since she's trying to jump off and you're trying to catch her. So this is going to be strength and brawl.
And grappling.
Yeah, I heard grappling earlier.
This is not a grappling. This is just you're trying to catch someone.
Only when it was me, it was grappling.
Well, no, I think I had brought that up asking about the difference
I'm
because
just screwing around. I'm just kidding with them.
they get mixed up.
So Alice jumps off the roof, and Vic makes it look like a Cirque du Soleil performance, and just very, very gracefully just catches Alice and brings her down a smooth movement to the ground and sets her down.
So I'm whispering to you guys. Yeah, Idaho, all I saw was I saw the kid, like the boy upstairs, and I kind of flashing my picture on my phone, real hidey. But I didn't see the little girl. If we want to take turns on or not turns, but if we want to kind of split up and try to look into what windows we can have cover from, that's about our last shot looking for the girl. She's not upstairs.
Well, I saw what I assumed to be the woman of the house in the kitchen.
Okay.
And she was wearing a steel
Lay
collar
down.
around her
Lay
neck.
down.
Okay, so then I lay down. Oh, you! I thought you were talking.
This one.
So
What?
I will inform them of the steel collar that I saw
The
around
kitty.
his neck.
Oh, she give me
And it's a
kisses.
refresher. What is the silver collar?
We don't know. Only Idaho knows what it means.
She's got a steel collar around her neck. So I'm assuming that she and again I'm going off of huge assumptions here.
What are you doing?
Like that she and the guy of the house
kitty.
are in some kind of a BDSM relationship. Right? Is that what you were going for earlier, Knox? That's why I recognize it?
Yes.
Okay. No. I recognize it in the. I just didn't know if in vampire culture, if it or in anything, if it had a different significance or
That's what I
anything.
would
But okay.
Well,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know. That may or may not mean anything. But
Why don't you go get on the tower? Go
it's
get on your
worth
tower.
looking into. But Al told us what she found up, looking through the rooms, right?
Right.
Did you share with us that you saw the array of
All the swords and bayonets and
the bladed weapons?
I had not gotten to that. My main concern was the child, that we at least accounted for one.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah. So I don't know.
You're stepping on the mic.
Yeah, and there's only one vehicle in the driveway, or two, or what?
There are actually there's like 3 or 4 vehicles there. There's 2 different cars. There's a truck. There is what looks to be like some sort of SUV, off-road vehicle, like an ATV.
Man.
And they're all very nice. These are recent model years for all across the board, so it's not like there's not been an inconsiderate amount of money being spent here.
Man. I sure wish we could figure out where the other 2 are, assuming there's only 2. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can just continue to peek in the windows.
So, okay. So, in order to do this, basically, so now you're going to have to get back into the backyard.
There's no other windows? Just the ones we saw that look into the kitchen?
So there's those. There's some windows that are in the front, on the other side, but rest of the windows that are easily accessible to you are going to be on the back of the house, at the ground floor, anyways.
Okay.
Now, there are also, as you would notice,
Mhm.
that there are windows at foot level,
Basement.
Into the basement.
but all of those are covered.
Well, my only concern is, if this is a man and a woman living in this house and they have this interesting relationship, who cares? I don't care about that. But if he is taking that and inflicting it, on the girl, whose name I can never remember, Tracy, was that it?
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, that could be a problem. I just would like to find out. I don't want to burst into their house and accuse them of something without knowing that there's anything going on. I'd really like to find Tracy and just have a chat with her. That's what I really want to do.
Well, we could tell a little fib.
What do you mean? Like, what do you
If we
mean?
actually want to engage, we can knock on the door and you can let them know that you were a friend of the mother's and you heard about the situation and you wanted to check in on the kids. And you'd like to maybe leave them a little something, some money or something to get them through.
Yeah.
Just some kind of little, whatever we can, that's the first excuse that came to my mind, but
yeah, I mean,
you're more creative than me. I'm sure you'll figure out.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could probably con my way into the house. It's just, I worry about doing something like that. And then what if we go in and there's nothing going wrong and we just went into this house and
Exactly the excuse. We leave them a couple $100 and we get the fuck out.
yeah, and showing up unannounced after dark at this lady's house, the first thing I would say if I was her is, no, you can't come in, and then maybe call the police. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you guys want to look maybe stealth again and look through some more windows or see what
I mean, yeah, I mean, we've already figured out I can be lopped over the fence pretty easily, so.
If we don't find any sight of Tracy, then I do want to figure out some way to get inside this house. But if we go to the back and look in and she's just sitting in the living room on her phone,
I got you.
No,
I'll scout.
Yeah, but that's where the distraction could come into play too. If she's stealth and someone knocks on the door, all it takes is them opening the door for her to be able to walk right in and get some information from inside the house.
Well, as long as the person answering the door isn't in the way.
Right.
But yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, depending on the distraction, like if you could pull them away from the door, leave the door,
Yeah.
Ring the doorbell several times and then run off.
I mean, normally I'm willing to take all kind of crazy risks. It's just in this situation, I'm just being overly cautious just because if it turns out there's nothing wrong, I really don't want to cause a huge scene. So, I mean, do you think, I mean, it would certainly be better if we could get inside the house, but that's riskier.
So what are you guys going to do?
I say, at the very least, just go peek in the other windows in the backyard just to see what you can see in the rest of the house. I can always knock on the front door and create a distraction if need be. And if you look in the windows in the backyard and you still see nothing out of the ordinary, then we have to make another decision.
Sounds good to me. I mean, take all the chances to be stealthy you can before you're found out. I mean, that's kind of my motto.
All right, well then.
Yeah, somebody get me over the fence.
I'll let you handle this.
Over the fence? Why you keep talking about a fence? We're in the fence.
No, it's the fence.
No, we went around the front now. The fence comes up around the sides of the house and then like this. So the entire backyard is blocked off.
Yeah.
Right. But we're still around the house, right?
We're in the front. So
But he just said that the rest of the windows that are accessible are into the backyard, face the backyard. So I would have to be back over the fence to go into the yard to see the back windows.
Well, this is just a regular like wood privacy fence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Just
it,
8 foot
high.
tall.
It's tall.
yeah,
It's
8 foot
quite
tall. Yeah,
tall,
so
but
it
it's
comes around and it connects to the sides of the house.
But there's no gates on those.
There's probably gates on both sides, right?
But usually gates can be squeaky. They can be rusted.
Yeah.
I mean, we're taking a far bigger chance doing it that way. Just
Okay. I'll eat you over. That's fine.
do I need to roll for the drop or?
so
Are you stealthing?
Yeah, well, once you drop me, yeah, because you'd be touching me. I wouldn't be able to stealth while you're dropping me.
So
Okay.
what I was going to say is, so are you? There's a couple different ways you could do this. He
Okay.
can just straight lob you over, and then you can roll for the land, or he can basically put you up on the fence again, and then you can climb down yourself.
Oh, like shimmy down. Okay, yeah. I mean, that sounds better.
Okay, so we'll say so because that is a significantly less technical thing to try to do than try to land quietly. We'll say that you can easily do that. That he lifts
Yeah.
you up, you stand on the top, and then you are able to let yourself down on the other side. So Al, you are now in the backyard. Are you going to?
Well, I'll go ahead and say I've gone stealth again.
Okay, so if you're going to do that, that's another rouse check.
Yep. I'm getting into the screen. Okay, let me re-roll. Hey, I said stop it. Get down. He's bugging the shit out of me. No. Somebody's roused. Oh, that right?
Yep, you're fine.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So, as you move along through the back, once you get out into the backyard, the backyard is very, very nicely landscaped, very tastefully landscaped. There's a shed that's in the back. You can look into it. It's open. It's exactly what you would expect to find in a shed. Bunch of gardening tools and shit like that. While you are in the back looking through, you can see what would appear to be the man of the house. He is dressed. He's a little heavier set, a little larger. He's got slacks, a white shirt on, suspenders.
Very dapper.
He is older. Where the lady of the house looked like she was maybe in her late 30s, early 40s, maybe a little older. This dude looks like he's got quite a bit of age on her, like maybe he's late 50s, early 60s. He is in the living room, standing there. Looks like he's watching some sort of true crime TV show. He's holding a drink. It's nothing particularly out of the ordinary about him.
Shit.
Do I notice anything else about the room?
It is very, very. It's very plush. Couches are all overstuffed leather. There's the TV is just fucking huge. Again, on a wall, again, kind of set off to the side. This one looks a little bit more ornamental, but definitely still, it's another montage of bladed weaponry.
Yeah. If I can get away with getting a shot with my cell phone, I'm gonna send it to both Idaho and Victor and be like, yeah, these guys like their fucking weapons.
I guess the foster people don't do too many surprise inspections.
If that's all there is to see, I guess I'll keep moving.
That is the biggest thing. the last window that is available to you is into into kind of like a mud room or a like a laundry room. It looks like it doubles as both.
Yeah.
It's and again, what's in here looks a little like there's no decorations in here. It's a little sparse. The only thing that really stands out in here is that hanging on the wall there is a bag, like um, a black sack that is hanging off of a hook on the wall next to the laundry. But that's what is in it. No idea.
Interesting.
This feels so ominous, but we don't really know. That's what's just bugging the hell out of me.
Okay. And how many more windows do we have left at this point?
That is the last one.
Okay.
And again, you have the issue that there are windows that, even on the back that are at foot level. So
yeah.
There is a basement.
Can I tell that there are even lights on though?
You can't. They're covered and or blacked out.
But okay. So there's windows there, but I still can't see anything out of them.
Yeah, you can't. There's just nothing to see.
Damn.
So what are you all going to do?
Well, does Al come back around to join us in the front?
So therein becomes the question. How are you going to?
Well, I mean, we don't know for sure. Okay, how about? So you took a picture of all the knives and you sent that to us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just gonna, I guess, send another text and say, "Are you coming back around to the front?"
If I can figure out how. At this point, is there?
Well, the gate's on the side of the house. Couldn't she come down on one of the gates and then just come down at the front, on the front side of it?
She's on the ground floor, right? She's on the ground.
Oh,
right?
She's already on the ground.
Yeah.
That's right.
So all she has to do is just climb over the gate. It's just that's probably going to end up in canceling out the stealth. That's all.
Yeah, and the gates are so there is a gate on one side of the house, but it is padlocked.
But usually the gates, the wooden gates, the way the slats are built in, make that Z.
Yeah, you can climb it.
So that's what I'm wondering. Can I get enough lift from the top panel to get myself over?
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Yeah. I text both you guys, hey, come to the gate.
All right.
And then, yeah, I will climb over.
So, now what are you going to do?
Okay. Well, trying to stay as quiet as possible, I'm going to say, I really don't know what to do. I'm not comfortable going in. I'm also not comfortable leaving without knowing. I would really, really like to see and talk to Tracy. If I were here by myself, I would just sit here and wait out until they went to sleep. And if I still didn't see her, then I would break into the house.
Yeah, but let me bring this up. I mean, based on what we've seen, I took pictures, I showed you guys. I mean, these people are fucking loaded and they got taste. Let's just think for one moment. Consider. Maybe they're vamps too. And,
Is there no way for us to tell that?
I mean, they're in the house, so I don't expect that you could use Bloodhound unless their scent is like all over the front door or something.
But I thought vamps kind of looked a little different than humans unless they're using like Blush of Life.
There's that, but there's also, I was going to point out the fact that like you have seen this woman making food.
Well, she could be making it for her
For the kids.
slaves that they have there. But so there's no way for us to know for sure. Oh, and the guy had a drink. Did you see him actually drink it?
No, but he had it in his hand. I don't think he would be sitting there in a chair with a
Okay,
drink in his
like
hand.
I said, my question was with this taste and style, if they are, you know, are we looking at a Camarilla household? Like, what kind of vampire we think they would be based on this opulence?
Hang on 1 second. When Al was in the back and was looking through the window and saw Homeboy chilling out with the drink, watching TV, did she see him take a drink?
No.
Shit. Of course she'd say that, bastard.
Could I tell the liquid in the glass, like, does it look like wine, or was this like a whiskey, you know?
Yeah, it looked like he's drinking scotch.
Scotch. Okay. Oh, okay.
So assuming Al shares with us, she saw the guy holding a glass of scotch. Say, I saw the woman cooking. I mean, it's possible they could be vampires living some strange suburban fantasy, but
unlikely.
Yeah. You know, I still, and it's also, it could be possible that they're vampires taking care of foster kids and they're doing a good job of it. So
except
really
the ones that run away and show up with bruises.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I want to see her. Where is
Dude,
she?
we've done all the sneaking we can really do, so it's I mean, we could run it, have some fun with it, and just intimidate the fuck out of them.
Well, that's the thing. What I'm saying is, if I were by myself, and I mean, I'm not by myself, but if you guys are willing, I would wait. I mean, I assume that like waiting and patience is no big deal for vampires. I mean, I don't know if it changes from person to person, but
I mean, I was gonna say that there's no way to be able to say that. Okay. Obviously, I mean, that's gonna be
because and this is just me thinking out, you know, totally OOC here, but a lot of the stuff that I've read about like immortals and vampires, they often seem to say things like, "Oh yeah, just standing here for a few hours and waiting around is nothing for us because we're long-lived," whatever.
I think in an existential way that's probably true. You have to have some patience to deal with being immortal, but as far as like personality, like how much patience, I know that Alice, no, and in fact, you know, being turned made that even more.
Well, and I would actually go so far as to say that might be true of a kindred who is, say, hundreds of years old, who's, you know, kind of figured out their place in the schemes of time. For some kindred who are, you know, max, you know, 30 to 40 years old, and in some cases less than a year old. No, no, it's gonna be just as annoying to wait there as it would be for a human being.
Well, regardless, I guess kind of what my conundrum is, and again, you know, I'll play it whatever way you guys want to play it, but if it were a solo session and all I was doing was checking on the kid, I would just say, okay, Knox, I'm just going to wait, so can we fast forward until bedtime? You know, but it's three of us, and the other things.
I'm down, man.
So I'm trying to be a little considerate.
I'm down.
I've stated, you know, my role here tonight is like kind of a support role. So I'm down for whatever you need me to support, like whatever you want me to do, whatever you need me to do, let me know. So, I mean, if you want to wait here and, you know,
I'm down.
You know, a little bit, I'll wait here. That's fine. I'm here for you.
Whoa. So good. I just got a pop that said my connection.
Idaho.
Ooh, yeah.
You're getting
you're stuttering.
Mechanical.
You started getting real robotic.
Hang on.
Okay.
I'm trying to refresh.
God, you're supposed to feed the hamster, not.
Oh.
It,
Dude,
hopefully
while Scott's dealing with
he has it.
while Scott's dealing with
Hopefully he hasn't
technical
Richard
issues, do
Geared
you
the
want to take
hamster.
a tenor?
I do have the Richard Gere hamster.
That's
Yeah.
better.
Audio's back.
I mean,
Videos
we
are
are
still-
at a point in the story where we're about to take another step, so it's up to Knox. But yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
think
was
it's an
gonna
okay
say,
time.
This would be like, this seems like this would be an excellent time to take a quick break, and then give you time to figure out what's going on with your computer.
It's my connection. My computer is fine. My connection's fine. Everything else is working fine. I don't know
Now-
what.
Yeah, now it seems like you're fine. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like you recovered.
That's
Okay.
pretty weird.
But I need
Let's
to
take a quick-
top off my coffee and stuff. So, all
Let's
right.
take a quick break for 10 minutes. Come back at 10 after, and we will continue the stakeout.
All right. So, you guys, all my lurkers out there, we appreciate you. Stick with this. I'm probably gonna run a quick ad break while we're out, and yeah, we'll be back in a minute. Go get yourself something to drink, a snack, and we'll see you soon. Yeah,
Do what you need to do.
potty emergency.
Take care of yourself.
right, we're back, everybody, for our bio break. Thanks for sticking with us, all our lurkers. We love you out there. We are back picking up with Idaho and Vic and Al staking out a house. So we'll let Nox take it from there. Yes, stake.
Gonna stake the house because it's a vampire.
So, welcome back to our 5th edition Chronicle, Philly by Night, Vampire the Masquerade. When last we left off, our 3 kindred had done a pretty reasonable job at reconnaissance around the outside of this somewhat upscale house, but not finding anything to their likings. And as we left, they were debating what the next step was. So, have you decided how you guys are going to proceed?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to find a dark place to continue to wait,
Mm-hmm.
and either it'll get late enough that they'll toddle off to bed, or we'll see Tracy and she'll look okay, or maybe I'll have a chance to talk to her, or we'll see something bad going on. Who knows? So I say we just continue reconnaissance.
You know, what we do in the shadows.
We're gonna go have a we're gonna go crash a city council meeting and demand that we get into this house.
So, where are you guys going to go wait? Are you guys actually going to leave the area and go, like...
I would prefer to find a good spot in the shadows and continue to observe through the windows.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. If there's a place with a vantage point to some of the windows, or that would be great.
So, the next hour or so is not particularly interesting. Nothing really happens. Dinner is served. The boy comes downstairs. The 3 of them sit and have dinner in the front window.
Do we see the adults eating?
Yes.
Okay.
And no
Not
Tracy.
vampires.
Tracy's
Okay,
not
wait. I have line of sight.
Yes. They are not attempting. They don't perceive that they are being watched, so they think that they are safe in their own home. So they are just
Senses.
all right. Is this the international sign language for?
No, this is international. I'm getting excited. I get to do something. Ooh. Alice gets to be useful.
You've done most all the work tonight.
Alice is slightly self-deprecating like myself, and so it's like, oh, I'm never enough. I must always contribute. Let's go.
Okay.
I mean, I think
so-
it's fortuitous that you showed up tonight.
Okay, so share the senses. So that's gonna be a rouse check.
Oh, rouse first? Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Booyah!
Me and Vic are just going to chill in the car while you take care of everything.
Right?
Except height. Anytime I need to get anywhere, being 5 foot.
Hey, just text me. Text me if you need me. I'll be in the car. Just chilling.
Alice's beast is control of her beast is a sight to behold tonight. Just
Yeah,
Point.
a lot better than mine.
keeps using those vampiric abilities and not a whisper.
You would think Malx would roll two reds for rouse.
So
I could see that.
Who are you targeting with share the senses, and what senses are you planning to use?
Let's just go for broke. We'll go for all 5 senses.
So you're gonna
Right.
go for
Person.
So you're gonna go for all 5 senses. Who are you going for?
Well, let me clear this first. Because being vampire, can the smell and taste of food make me sick?
No, but it's going to be unpleasant.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave out I kind of want to use smell in case there's like some kind of aroma or scent in the house, but I also don't want to make myself distracted by not. Ugh.
It also might, if there is some sort of telltale aroma, it might be masked totally by the food anyway.
True.
I mean, they're sitting at a table of a freshly cooked meal.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll leave out taste and scent for now,
Okay.
just to play it safe. But yeah, I want to hear, I want to see, and if I doubt there's anything to touch other than silverware, but I don't see that being a detriment.
If you sense touch, does that mean, can you sense pain as well? Like if they sense
Yes. If they're in pain, you will be in pain.
That's right, I forgot
or
about that.
bruised or if
Yeah, let's go for the kiddo.
Okay. So roll your auspex and resolve.
I don't know what that is. Just pulled up.
Your auspex is so 3, and your resolve is 2, so 5, so 4 and 1. You do need, if you are attempting to do this and not be noticed, you are going to need at least 3 successes.
Did I type it right?
No one wants to know about your senses.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
I knew when it counted. I knew when it counted the most.
The kid's head explodes, right? It's like scanners. His head just explodes.
So.
And
Oh my goodness. How are we going to handle this one?
So.
Can I re-roll?
No.
No, it's. I don't think in this case, I don't think the messy critical does like a whole lot.
Let's just wait and see.
We'll see. But
the kid turns into a vampire.
Alice, you reach out into the boy's head to attempt to reach out and into his senses. You feel it is almost like something is reaching over your reach when you reach out for the senses. And instead of it just being for the senses of sight and hearing, it is all of the senses, and it is amplified way beyond what you wanted. The smell, you can pick out all of the individual ingredients in all of the food. As he's chewing, you can feel the chewed food in your mouth, and it feels like you are chewing on wet ash. You can hear everything, the sound of the people who are eating next to you as they're scraping their fork on their plate, as knives are cutting through the meaty portion of the meal and striking the plate, and it's like nails on a chalkboard to you. You can feel the kid and his upset stomach making you feel ill. It is way too much sensory overload for you. So your hunger does increase, because it is such a just disgusting experience that the beast inside of you is just appalled. It's almost a fear response. So the other part about it is you have a choice that you need to make. You can choose to persist through and hold steady and endure this and attempt to gain any information that you can from the circumstance. But if you do that, you're going to be sick. Or you can exit the sensory experience and back off. But if you do that, then you're basically at square one, and your beast will not allow you to attempt to do that with the boy again.
What are the consequences of being sick?
Kindred being sick is vomiting blood everywhere, which means your hunger will also increase again. And there will also be blood.
Yeah. No, there'll be physical evidence that we were here. Yay!
Nah, me and Vic can drink that up. Don't worry about it.
Be down there licking the
Neighbor-
grass. Blah,
neighbor,
blah, blah.
neighbor is sitting there watching you through the window, licking bloody vomit off of the ground.
Like, I already thought some weird shit went on over in that house, but damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it safe on this one. I can't bear leaving evidence, and especially if I haven't confided with them what's going on, for them to just see me profusely vomit blood out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm gonna back off. I'll back off.
So,
Should have kept going. No.
Yeah, so at this point, I go ahead and convey to the guys, like, what the fuck just happened. Like, I fucked up. I went in too hard, too strong, and I was about to, lose my guts. So
It's all right. So, has there been?
Do you see the girl there?
Has there been any sign that they have any pets?
No.
No cat, no dog, no nothing, or no sign of.
No.
Damn it. Well, I guess unless anybody else has any other ideas, we continue to wait. I'm even more concerned now that Tracy's not sitting down to dinner with them, and we still haven't seen her. In the time we've been observing, we've seen all three of them, but we've never seen her, right?
No.
Well, Idaho, at this point, I'm of the mindset that, I'll wait it out as long as you want to wait it out, but, I'm still here to support, I'm still of the mind to also, knock on the door and handle it that way. So it's up to you how long you want to handle this.
Well, the knocking on the door thing would get everybody's attention, and we would have to somehow subdue them in order to go inside and investigate.
It's nothing we haven't done before.
Yeah, I know. All right, so
So you guys gonna
What are you
wait a
doing?
little longer? Are you
What
guys
are you
gonna wait
doing?
longer, or are you going to?
let me ask this.
Okay.
The invitation to the French restaurant, if we ever even get to that tonight, that was like 2 o'clock in the morning, or what?
No, that was like late. We're talking like
Early then?
yeah, like
Or
3:30.
Oh, no.
So we still have time to do both. I mean, we do. I don't know if we have time in this session to do both, but we still would have time to do both. So
Sit
I mean,
down.
here's my idea. I would prefer to go into the house after they've gone to sleep. I'd rather just do a B&E and just kind of search around in the house. Unless, have we seen any signs that they have an alarm?
You have not.
Rather than, just go in and try to subdue them. It's still very possible that, well, I was going to say Tracy could be out and about doing stuff, but that seems a little unusual for somebody her age too. No? Yes?
I'm agreeing with you. I think there's nothing right about any of this.
Well, what do you think, Vic?
I don't know. Like I definitely think something is up, but especially since we haven't seen her at all tonight, that seems weird to me.
I mean, even if I tried to pull like acting like I was a friend, or even if I tried to act like I was a caseworker, or even if I tried to act like I was a cop, all the guy in there has to do is say no and shut the door and then call the police, and then things have just gotten.
Could you not use your powers of persuasion?
I can certainly try.
And then again, on the back end of it, before we leave, we just flashy, and we were never
you could turn on your
here.
awe. You could turn on your awe and be like the I'm running for public office. I'm looking to get some signatures.
I mean, if we're just trying to get in the house, then all we need is a distraction, and we just barrel our way in, and we have to subdue the people in the house, right? I'm not going to be able to con the three of us inside that house. And if I were able to, say I pulled some sort of super successful persuasion, it might be enough to get us invited into the living room while I tell them about my political platform. But to actually explore the house,
that's where Sense the Unseen comes into play, or that's where the Cloak of Shadows, Unseen Passage.
Oh, so you want me to go try to con them out of the doorway so one of you can sneak in invisible and go explore the house?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. Like if we could get them to even open the door, one of us could sneak into the house. You know, like that.
Well, you tell me if I'm overthinking this, Knox, because I have been in plenty of situations.
You are way overthinking this. Go on.
I can do it. I have answered my front door many times to unexpected callers. And when I do, I'm standing in the freaking doorway. Nobody can sneak past me. So I don't have to just get them to open the door. I think it'd be really easy to get them to open the door. I have to get them to get out of the freaking way of the door.
Yeah, and I was going to say, even recently, and this is purely anecdotal, of course, I had somebody who came to my front door, and I didn't, like, open the door and then, like, stand there with my door ajar. Like, I exited my own domicile and closed the door behind me
desk.
and then stood there in front of my apartment to talk to them.
So the best I could think of is either I try to persuade them to get out of the way and one of you guys can sneak through, or we just need to force our way in. And then flash.
One way to persuade them if you're running for office and you're putting your all on, you're trying to get them to sign down, you need their signature and their driver's license number. So if they need to go get their driver's license,
yeah, they might just shut the door. So here's what I think we should do.
You could do the whole thing from Jay and Silent Bob and like show up with a piece of paper and
are you
XX motherfucker 69?
Did you say Jay and Silent Bob suck a big giant cock? Yeah.
I think the best way to go about this is I could just go up there, knock on the door, and try to pull some sort of a persuasion thing to get them out of the way.
Or no, just to even, like, if we're going to persuade them, you could keep them busy in the front room or whatever. And if we've convinced them of a decent reason enough for the two of us to be there, once you have them distracted with whatever, anything, the two of us can kind of make a sweep of the house.
Right. Or I go up there by myself and successfully get myself inside, and as we're moving in, you two come in unseen. I mean, is that a possibility?
Yeah, if they don't know we're there to begin with, that's better. That's better than them seeing us there and then not seeing us later.
I think it'd be a little more difficult to con all three of us in.
Well, and because it's kind of such a perennial piece of Vampire the Masquerade canon now, you know, it's like in the very, very first episode of LA by Night, Nellie and Victor, when they're walking into places with Jasper in tow, Jasper being their Nos, who is unseen passage, like they make a specific point of being like, when I open the door really wide and make a big deal about going through it. Right. So that way, even though it looks a little weird, what they're doing effectively is masking that there are somebody who's also walking through the doors.
So, yeah, let me go to the front door and knock and try to get my way in.
Means we need to rouse again.
And yeah, you guys go stealth, and if I successfully get through the door, you guys follow me in, and you can go explore the house while I'm talking to them.
My luck has fucking turned.
Yeah, now you're like a 3 or a 4, and I'm at a 3. We're gonna end up killing this family. I'm just letting you guys know. Just right out the gate, we're gonna.
Maybe they deserve it.
For once, I'm not the one that's gonna do it. Right?
Vic is gonna stand back going, "Yo, guys, calm down. What the hell?"
He's like picking Alice up by her collar, just 5 feet straight up in the air. Get off of them!
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, yeah. I guess I'll go and see what I can figure out. If I can, you guys are now. I guess they're invisible now, so I'll head to the front door and knock.
Okay, so I just kind of as a question, what are you wearing this evening?
Well, I actually was thinking that in anticipation of going from here to the French place, I would have put on the black suit.
So you're dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the suit. Okay, so when you get to the front door, and do you knock or you ring the bell?
I'll just ring the bell.
Okay, when you ring the bell, you hear kind of heavy footsteps that come to the front door. The door swings wide open, and
shit, jump in.
And
I'll take it. I don't care if it gets them in. I don't give a shit.
You know this guy.
I do?
You don't know him by name, Mr. Reginald, Mr. Reagan, Mr. something with an R, but you've seen him at parties that you have attended.
Do I know anything else about him? Or is it just a recognition of his face?
Just recognition of his face.
How did he act? How did he act at the parties?
He wasn't in your circle. You didn't interact with him.
Okay.
So when he opens the door, he sees you, and he recognizes you, and he's like, "You're a little early."
Sorry, I was just too excited.
He's like, "All right. I mean, nobody else is going to be here for like about a half hour or so."
Is that a problem? I mean, is it cool?
I mean, no, of course not. No, come in.
Thank you. Thank you.
He opens the door.
I'm going to walk in very slowly against the door, keeping it open. If I have to, I could even fake a little trip or something. But I'm going to try to keep the door open long enough to let the two of them in.
Okay.
Good.
So, Vic and Al, I am going to need you to roll your dex and stealth.
Really? I couldn't.
I don't know what mine is.
Alice, yours for dex, you're 2, and your stealth is 2. So but you have 3 hunger, so it's a 1 and a 3.
Does that include her enhanced dexterity from rousing the blood?
Oh, that's true. So it would be 2 and a 3.
Okay.
Thanks for that catch, Idaho. Thank you. Okay, I can't look anymore.
Got you back. Don't you worry about it. Both of them got a 2. Is that enough?
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
Whew.
I mean, I'm doing my best, trying to distract homeboy.
He guides you into the living room.
Now, is Tracy's brother still around?
No. He does not appear to be anywhere around. Can I get you something to drink? Is there anything I can, water, liquor?
I'm gonna wait. I'll wait till the party. Sometimes I like to be in full control of my senses during these. I think it's safer.
He's like, fair. That's very fair. He says, well, says, "Well, I guess I will. If you want to just hang out in here and watch watch TV, the other guests should be arriving half hour or so."
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, I don't want to impose, but do you want to just have a little chit chat? We really have never had a chance to get to know each other.
He goes, "I'm actually gonna go help my wife doing food prep."
Oh well, hey, I can help.
He's like, "If you want to help, feel free. You don't have to. We're just, kind of getting ready." So.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to do is be where they are to make sure that they stay where they are.
So.
I'll go to the kitchen. I'll kind of half-ass helping, mainly just like shoot the breeze with them, keep them occupied, while Vic and Al explore the house.
Okay, so you're in the kitchen talking to them.
Do I recognize her?
No, you do not recognize her.
Does she have a little O-ring on the front of her metal collar?
No, this particular collar is just a solid, basically piece of metal. It's probably about maybe 3-4 millimeters thick. Goes all the way around. On the back, you see there is kind of what looks like kind of a discrete lock on the ring itself. Maybe there's some etching. Maybe that's a serial number. Maybe it's something else. But otherwise, if you didn't know what this was, you wouldn't know what it is.
Does he introduce her to me in any sort of a particular way?
No. He just introduces, "This is my wife."
I'll introduce myself. I'm Billy Madison. I'm Raven Dark.
She seems a little surprised to see you. She is definitely maintaining kind of hostess face, but you can tell that you have set off. She does not recognize you. She doesn't. Maybe she was the one who curated the guest list. Maybe any number of different things.
Right.
But she doesn't know why you're there, even if he doesn't seem to second guess it.
Right. Okay.
So she is definitely suspicious of you. Meanwhile, Vic and Alice, what are you guys doing?
Get back over here, Vic.
Get over here. So what are you guys gonna do?
I guess we're exploring the rest of the first floor, at least for now.
There's not a whole lot to explore. It is basically between the living room area and then the dining room kitchen area. It's pretty wide open.
Okay.
The only things that are really there's a central staircase that kind of goes up to the second floor.
Okay.
And then behind that staircase is the staircase down into the basement.
And we never saw the daughter, right? Or the girl. We just saw the boy.
No.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what's in the basement. I hate to say it. I think basements are big concern. So I'm gonna start heading that way. See if there's anything stopping us from going down.
Okay, so as you head down the stairs, there is a door at the bottom that is closed.
Okay.
So you're heading down to the basement. Al, what are you doing? Are you going with, or are you?
Yeah,
Are you
I don't.
guys holding hands? Are you guys going together? Let's start there. Or are you just bumbling around the house?
No. I don't want to split up in the case that one of us is exposed and they don't have any backup. So yeah, I would expect the holding hands, up against the wall, like getting down the stairs. So one of us has lockpick, right?
I do.
I
have larceny. Not gonna help much.
I'm just saying, if it's locked, we haven't tested it yet.
But
so
if it's locked, I don't want to break it. Considering they're there, I think it. But
okay,
yeah, I don't want.
So Vic, it is locked.
Okay.
So, do you want to attempt to pick the lock?
I don't know. I'd rather go upstairs and see if we can find the girl upstairs. And then if not, I for now at least, I kind of want to see where everything goes, because if there's going to be more people coming over in 30 minutes, then and they're going to open the basement because
Yeah,
of what's going on,
that makes
then
sense. Then we can wait that out.
so right. So I'd rather not break the lock if they're going to be trying to open the door in 30 minutes or less.
Yeah, we can slink upstairs at this point.
Okay, so heading upstairs. When you get upstairs, you already know the layout. Office. The room that was the office is locked.
Okay.
It is not just locked like the normal office door lock. Like, it's got like a bolt that it has the office door lock and a bolt on it. Like, there's multiple locks to the office. Spare room is wide open and is very sparse. The master bedroom is also closed. That door's not locked to get into the master bedroom. And then, of course, there is going all the way down. There is the kids' room.
Has Vic ever seen any of these? He never came up. Were you with us last time, Vic?
Mm-mm.
So you've never seen these kids before or anything. This is brand new for you.
Yeah, this is all.
I was just sorry. I just needed a moment of clarification there.
Where do you want to start?
Well, I want to see if the girl's in the room. That way, we can at least account for where she is. If she's not in the room, then at least we know she's not in the upstairs, and she's not in the middle floor, so we can count those two out. I want to wait a few minutes, and then I guess we just hang around and wait for a while until basement gets opened up, if it does. If not, and party starts and they don't open the basement, then we use that as our chance to go down.
Makes sense.
So you're gonna head to the kids' room.
Yeah, just
when you go into the kids' room, it's dark now. The boy has been put to bed, or has gone to bed, and he is in bed. He's may or may not be asleep, actually, but he is certainly in bed. There is a nightlight on his side. There's no one in the other bed.
all right. Close the door. Go back downstairs. Just wait.
I would actually think it'd be better for us to wait in the guest room. I don't expect anyone would be coming up here until at least the after party. That's probably why they have this room, is just set aside for, drunks to sleep over. So
Yeah,
I think it'd just be safer and just, keep an ear out for what's going on downstairs until we get our segue.
Once we get in there, you can text Idaho, let them know we're just chilling in the guest room. No sign of the girl.
Yeah. Taken care of.
Basement locked. Wait, not breaking lock.
So while this is going on, they're upstairs going through, and you guys are hiding in the spare room now. You said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guest room.
Still invisible, but yeah, up there.
So, downstairs, people are starting to come in. There's the first people through. It's another couple. The next time that there's a knock at the door, there's an entire group of people. It's four different people. Idaho, you recognize one of the guys in the most recent group.
Do I even want to know his name?
His name is Hans.
Really? So, did somebody tell you to eat something?
Yep.
Awesome. Zack did it. Zack, you're so bad. Okay, so I see Hans. I'm assuming he's going to recognize me.
He does indeed recognize you.
Ooh.
There is a moment of kind of like, what the fuck? But he doesn't say anything. He just kind of nods at you, like acknowledging you. But he does not say or do anything.
I will give him a nod of acknowledgement in return, even a little bit of a smile.
People are chatting. People are hanging out. And then the man of the house starts to lead people downstairs and opens the basement.
All right.
I mean, is it pretty obvious to them upstairs? Would they know people are heading to the basement?
I mean, I don't know that they would know that the people are heading to the basement, but the
volume would decrease.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but you'd notice that the volume is going down.
Because I was gonna say, if need be, I could try to surreptitiously send them a little text that says, heading to the basement. But if I don't need to do that, I'm not gonna do it.
So, Idaho, in the basement. This is a full-on dungeon.
Hell yeah.
There are St. Andrew's crosses on the walls. There is like a half box. I don't know how else to say this, where it looks like there's like a hole on one side of the box at about crotch level. There is a medical table in one corner, like stirrups and gurney and everything like that. And on one particular wall, they have put up this kind of it's not cork board. It's like the boards, like tinker toy holes that people use for their tools to put up hooks and everything like that.
Pegboard,
yeah, pegboard. They have a pegboard that basically extends the entire length of one of the walls. It is covered in basically every imaginable type of S&M device that you could imagine. There's speculums, there's whips, there's crops, there's paddles, there's on one particular end there are knives.
Oh my! Pixie,
and
I'm so jealous. I got you, man. I'm listening.
The other and there is the floor concrete, and there is a drain in the middle of the floor.
Damn, they're pretty hardcore in here. Do I smell anything like I shouldn't smell, like blood or anything like that?
You do indeed smell blood.
Is it like more than you might expect from an often used dungeon?
I don't know that I would say more than you would expect, but there has definitely been bloodletting down here that you can.
Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. I'm just okay. I'm just gonna play it cool.
That there's nobody in the dungeon. It is empty.
Nobody in the box. Nobody waiting on a cross, so it's empty.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like a 14-year-old girl or anything like that.
Nope.
Oh, geez. So now what? Do they just commence?
So yes. So people are starting to put things up. Hans puts the lady of the house up on the St. Andrew's cross, and after she, of course, disrobes down to her undergarments, and
any bruises on her, any scarring?
I mean, there is.
Even if she did,
she has more tattoos than would be belied by her conservative dress, certainly.
Cool.
But the her ass is already black and blue.
Okay.
And Hans starts to go in on her. what are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, so far this is just seeming like a normal party to me. So I'm just I'm really, as much as I would probably like to rip Hans's head off and drink him dry, I'm going to try to resist that even at 103. Oh, I thought I was at 3. No. I started at a 2, and then didn't I fail when I roused my blood earlier? Oh no, we backed that off. We didn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're good. You're good.
All right, I got to rouse something else then. I got to be at a 3. All right, so I guess I'm more in control than I realized. As much as I would like to kick his ass right now and rip him to pieces, my main concern is where's the girl? And so there's no sign of anything at this point. So I'm going to hang back and try to let Vic and Al continue to do their thing while I just watch and wait.
Okay. So, Vic, Al, what are you going to do?
First things, well, did we already text you and let you know there was no sign yet?
Yeah.
I think we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm going to text regroup outside ?
I'm gonna is everybody pretty much watching Hans go to town on this woman?
Oh yeah, I mean, some people are getting into it, other people are playing.
Kind of doing their own thing. Maybe?
Yeah, some dude has gone in the box and stuck his dick through the hole.
Oh,
He's got a dick in the box.
Then I can't respond to the text. Then I'm totally distracted. I'm jumping in the box. You know, I mean, what can I do? Anyway,
I was gonna say, and then he's getting serviced, but stopped by
Lay down.
and people are finding this amusing.
Okay,
so
I'm gonna feeding. So I don't know if Vic and Al have come down to the basement, right? I wouldn't know that.
No, we told you we were staying upstairs.
Oh, I thought y'all were waiting for the door to open and y'all were gonna come down.
No, they're upstairs in the spare room.
You asked if we would know, and we were saying we would know from the sound, but we haven't made a move.
So I'm gonna move. I'm gonna back away a little bit, and because I don't want to cause. Because I figure if I leave right now, if anybody notices, that maybe is the wrong kind of signal. So I'm gonna sort of back away and sort of subtly send a text and say, it's a BDSM party down here, but no sign of Tracy.
Okay. I had already texted you if you wanted to regroup outside to talk.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you're going to stay there.
Damn.
Okay. You know, I guess, you know, we would say, you know, we've looked at all we can and there's no sign of the kid. You know, she's not in bed. There's no sign that she's been in the room. Yeah, if she's not in the basement, what do we do?
Oh, I mean, I hate to say this, but I almost feel like it's time to leave. But they're just getting started. So there's no sign of her anywhere in that room.
No. But you if it's your prerogative to stay, you could just tell us the goal.
Well, all right. So I'm gonna just.
You can stay and have fun.
No. I don't want to. Hell no. I'm gonna subtly slip out of the room and make a beeping sound. No, I'm gonna subtly slip out of the room. I'm trying not to draw any untoward attention, and I'm gonna go up to try to rendezvous with Vic and Al.
Okay, so the question then is, are you going? So does this mean you're going up to the upstairs to the spare room to rendezvous with them, or are all three of you exiting the house completely?
I had made the offer of exiting the house just in case someone decides to go use the upstairs bathroom and we get discovered. I figure we know where the darkness is outside. We can still.
Yeah. Well. And I really am not going to know when I rendezvous with them because they're invisible. Right.
I'm assuming they're still using unseen passage, although I also would assume that they would drop unseen passage when they got outside with you. But
Okay. So the door to the house is not locked.
No.
Okay. So I guess we can do a little rendezvous out front in the shadow. And I'm going to say, I'll just give them a little more info about this is what I saw downstairs. The basement is a total, completely tricked out BDSM dungeon.
Nice.
Everybody down there is doing their thing. I can't say that I'm super comfortable with these being the foster parents to these kids. But what really bothers me is I know some of the people that are at this party, and one of them is a guy named Hans who, how can I put this? He has done some horrible things to people, and I've seen him do it.
Mm.
I do not feel comfortable.
So they don't keep very kind company.
Yeah, and like recognizing safe words and boundaries is not in this guy's, typical way of doing things. So even if they're not doing something to Tracy, it so bothers me that the kids are here at this house.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I don't even usually give a shit about kids, but
and I still want to know.
We've been through a lot for them. No, I mean, I think the only option now is maybe get Michael to get our lawyers on this and file a CPS complaint.
Al, don't you have the police contact? You have the cop contact, right?
If he's still a contact. I honestly cannot remember the last time we left off with him, so I would need Storyteller to kind of give me a...
Yeah, you've contacted him since.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, I know we contacted, I just didn't know how we left off, so I didn't know if there was, like, something like a fight or something like that.
Well, I'm going to say, hey, guys.
Yeah, I just didn't know if he would happen to know.
I'm going to go back inside, and I'm going to take some pictures.
Okay.
Because I would assume, I mean, I'm not super familiar with the foster care system. But
but the evidence is,
this kind of thing is not what they're down for. So they probably don't take the foster inspectors into the basement, and they probably take down the knives from the wall. So I'm going to go back in and take some pictures, and then I'll be right back out.
Okay. I'll go ahead and give my guy a call. I mean, I don't know what shift he's working these days, but worst comes to worst, I leave a voicemail. But I'll give him a call.
I get to get immediate information. I just didn't know if he might be able to find something on her to see.
No, it was a good thought.
Reason why she wasn't in the home.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that they sent her to stay with somebody else while they're having the party, though. Why they would?
But why not the boy? Exactly. It does not make sense.
But, so unless, I mean, I was also worried that she was going to be the centerpiece of the party. But if she is, where is she in the freaking house?
Right.
So I'm going to go back in, and assuming no one has missed me or come looking for me, right?
Okay.
No, that hasn't happened.
You hadn't finished your sentence, so.
No. Well, when I go back into the house, is somebody from downstairs up looking for me, or is everything still like normal?
No, everything's the way it was when you left.
All right. I'm going to take pictures of like the knives and the stuff on the wall. Then I'm going to head back down to the basement. And I'm assuming their etiquette is that you're not supposed to take pictures or videos. Is anyone else taking pictures or videos?
No.
Okay.
So
closed party.
There are no cell phones that are out at all.
Yeah, it's a closed party.
Yeah. So damn. It's dark down in there too, right? I mean, it's like club lighting or something like that.
Yeah, it's all like red. Like the ambiance is red light district.
All right, fuck it. I'm not going to be able to get pictures. Are they still doing the same stuff?
Oh yeah. Now there's a dude on the medical table with his feet up. They're using a speculum on him.
What about
he seems
audio?
pretty happy about it, but his urethra doesn't.
Well, I'm not there. Sorry.
So
Talking out loud.
What's the host doing? What's Mr. Reagan doing?
He's just watching. He's kind of surveying things that are going on. People need tools. He's getting them tools. He's cleaning things off. He's being a host.
We've got about like 8 or 9 people down here.
Yes. At this point, there's between the host, the other people who showed up, and then the quadrant of 4. So there's those 8. And you've overheard that there's still more people that are expected.
Okay. I'm going to kind of mosey over to Mr. Reagan
Okay.
and just kind of try to engage him in chit chat and say, this is a fairly good party. This is my first time to one of your private parties. This is going okay. Like trying to give him a compliment, but sort of passive aggressive, say like it's not really that great. It's not the best thing I've ever seen. You know what I'm getting at?
He's kind of like, well, I mean, we're still kind of getting the hang of it. This is the first time that we've well, it's not the first time, but it's one of the first times that we've had such a large group here to kind of do one of these things.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, you've got a great house where you've got an amazing setup. I mean, that is just really nice. But so are you trying to say that we're sort of like at the hors d'oeuvre portion of the evening, or you guys are just practicing, or what's going on?
He goes, I would say that, people who are engaging in play, if they want to take it up a notch, that's up to them. He said all the tools are free and available, although, etiquette being what it is, we'd prefer, people not leave their, fluids everywhere.
Oh yeah, I agree. You do have a drain if that happens.
He's like, yeah, but he's like, do you know how difficult it is to get the hose from the backyard through the kitchen down into the...
Yeah, you could even say I have a little experience cleaning up fluids myself.
He's like,
Awkward.
So does he seem like he's sort of now kind of like the way you're acting, like he's sort of a little losing some of his confidence, like the way he's talking to me?
Not really. He seems like he doesn't really know what you're trying to say, okay. And he's trying to be a good host without, kind of being like.
So, okay. Say I'm gonna unless he walks away or he seems like he's really awkward. I don't want to push it. I'm saying so. This is your first time having a party like this?
I mean, it's the first one. First like major time here. Like we've had other parties, of course.
You guys have hosted other parties here?
No, not here though.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen you at other parties. I mean, we've all been at other parties.
Right. No, and I've organized other parties at other people's houses and at other venues, but.
Okay, nice. So, you're just trying to host some of your own here.
Right. It's expensive to to have to rent a venue and then you have to make sure that there's that the people at the venue are okay with certain things. And he's like I mean, he's like I don't know you personally, but he's like, I mean, I've seen you out. I'm sure you know the things.
So when we came down to the basement, you had earlier described the way the basement stairs were compared to the stairs going upstairs. Are they right by each other? I kind of missed that.
He said they were underneath.
Yeah, the stairs basically run.
Okay.
They run like right underneath.
So did I? Okay, I'm gonna go. So yeah, I mean, this is a really nice house that you and he introduced her his wife, right?
Yeah.
This is a really nice house you and your wife have, pretty big. I mean, I saw some pictures on the stairwell. You guys have a family?
He goes, oh well, I mean, we do foster kids. I mean, obviously, all of this is locked up. They're not allowed to be anywhere near any of this.
Are they young?
He's like, well, we're fostering a boy. He went to bed a couple hours ago, and and that's why we're not playing music or anything like that.
Oh, so he's asleep upstairs.
Yes.
Wow, that would be awkward if he woke up and walked down here, wouldn't it?
Well, he knows that when we have parties like this, that he's not allowed to be down here and come down. So
okay.
And then we're also fostering his sibling, but she's not here tonight.
Is she older or younger?
She's a little older. He goes, I'm sorry. I'm totally forgetting your name. What?
Billy.
I just have to say, this is really awkward that you're asking about my kids at a sex party.
The reason I'm asking is because I feel like it would be kind of strange to have one of these parties and your kids are here. You've got to be sort of some way to make sure your kids don't encounter the party.
Well, he's gone to bed. She's not here.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any kids of my own. I'm just kind of curious, how I would handle that if I had to deal with it.
I see. At this point, he is, if not displeased, he is really suspicious because your line of inquiry is pretty awkward for the circumstances.
Yeah, but I'm done now. I got what I want. We go, awesome. Okay. Where's the bathroom?
He goes upstairs.
All right. Thanks. And I just head out.
All right.
So I'm going to go back out to Vic and Al and say, well, I wasn't able to get pictures of the dungeon. It was just too dark. It would have been way too obvious. Or I would have probably had a bunch of pictures.
I think we all know what is down there.
But I did start talking to the guy.
You've never seen a urethra stretched out like that?
No, that's actually what I walked into one night.
No.
Because when Havoc first moved to the palace, you went right for Havoc, and you went left for the other side of whatever was going on over there, and I had no idea. So my very first night there, like I walked in and I walked left.
Let's just not get too.
Exactly what I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that's the night we met. I remember that was.
Mail this thing.
So I'm gonna go to them and say. So I talked to the guy who owns the house, the man of the house, and he admitted to fostering 2 kids, and he said the girl was not here. So that's all I got.
Doy.
So I guess at this point, as much as I hate to do it, we've got information. We can head on, and I'm definitely going to follow up with the attorney. I've been talking to the attorney already, and do I have a way? Do I know where Hans lives? Do I know where Hans? Okay, so but there's more cars in the driveway now, right?
There couldn't be more cars in the driveway. The driveway was.
Well, there's more cars. Like there's cars out there now that were not there before.
Right, there's cars on the street.
That could be the cars that belong to the people inside the party.
Sure, or it could be the people who live next door. There's no way you'd be able to know that information.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm trying to think of a way I can get a hold of Hans or find where Hans is. I'm a little bit concerned with that, but I'll follow that up some other way. Okay. So
Alice, were you going to call your police contact? Okay, so you call, he's not on shift. What is the voicemail that you leave?
Hey, I'm helping a friend follow up with some kids he helped get into foster care. There's some really shady shit going down at the place, and no one's seen the daughter. And I'd just like to know if you can help me out with any of this. You can call me anytime after sundown or leave a voicemail. But yeah, let me know how you're doing, man. Check you later. Bye.
Subtle.
Love it.
So
I expect by now he understands my work schedule.
Yeah.
So you guys are outside. What are you gonna do?
Well, I guess it's up to you guys. I mean, do we?
Man, that is 7 digits. Somebody should call.
I know, isn't that awesome?
So does 1-800-KINDRED. Now that I think about it.
I mean, just
we needed a 1-800 number.
to kind of.
I mean, you think we should go check out your date?
Yeah. So, what do you guys want to do? I mean, it's 6 o'clock. We've been at it 3 hours. Do y'all want to keep going, or what do y'all want to do?
If she's not here tonight, what?
No. This is me
out of character.
Out of character.
Oh, out of character. Oh, okay.
So I feel like we've done what we can reasonably do tonight, unless we just hang around for the entire party. and I'm almost thinking that's overkill. So now the question is, do we want to wrap it up, or do y'all want to keep going and go to the French restaurant?
I'm up for
Mm,
the
Well,
French
I was gonna
restaurant.
say, I mean, that will be going there. That will what happens at that will be the end of the night because it occurs so late in the evening. So
Okay.
that will be kind of the cap for the session.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
I don't mind continuing, but I can't continue for too much longer. But if you guys want to, we can go over to the French place.
yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Try and see if we can wrap this up.
Are y'all cool with that? All right, let's
Yep,
jump
let's
to the
go.
car. Well, I guess we have to go back to the car.
Let's
So-
walk to the car.
The three of you head from northeast Philly down, back through contested territories, and deep into Camarilla territory to a French restaurant that is right on the Schuylkill River.
So we're west in the Cam territory.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And allergies.
So, as you get there, the outside of the French restaurant looks dark. The lights are off. The only thing that differentiates it, that even lets you remotely know that you're expected, is there is a man who is standing at the front door. He is wearing a suit, white shirt, black tie, black sunglasses, even though it is fucking stupidly late.
Does he have a sword on his back?
No,
Okay, good.
but he is standing there holding the door open.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'll just kind of give him a nod and go on in.
So, when you walk into the restaurant, there's a hostess who's waiting there. She nods and walks you into the back. As you were walking, the three of you are walking into the restaurant, and you get to the back where there is the back of the room. There are probably 8 or 9 guys who are standing there, kind of ringing the room, all who look identical to the guy at the front door. Not literally identical, not clones, but same.
Wearing this.
Dress and manner.
Are they vampires?
No, they are all human.
Okay.
Sitting at the table in the middle of the room is Joan Jett.
Oh my God. Okay. And that's it. So it's a bunch of guys surrounding the room and her sitting at the table.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I'll go sit down with her.
So the three of you sit down.
I'll sit down.
I'll sit down. I don't know what Vic and Al are gonna do, but I'll sit with her.
Okay. Al, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna stay standing. I'm kind of on all awares right now and very suspicious, so
I'll sit down because if anything goes wrong, I can flip the table.
Okay.
So what do you say, Idaho, when you sit down?
Oh, I was just looking at my cheat sheet. Did I ever get her name?
Nope.
Okay. All right, fine. I will sit down and I will greet her. I'll say, well, good evening. Thanks for the invitation.
So, well, I'm glad that you were able to come. I had my doubts that you would, and I certainly was not expecting you to bring friends, but I suppose it does not matter.
Well, I guess we both brought friends, huh?
She says, so. I know that you and your friends found first part of my gift to you. She says, I am certain now that if you were to head back to the wreckers, that you would find it in much better condition.
It's cleaned up?
She nods.
Oh, thank you.
She says, I believe it is the owners are currently otherwise occupied.
So, if it's okay for me to ask, why did you guys do that?
She kind of steeples her fingers in front of her and says, to facilitate this meeting, to send a message to certain kindred.
Mm-hmm.
She says, so consider that in, shall we say, an opening ante.
Well, I mean, I understand your second point. I don't understand the first, but okay. I mean, I had no idea that you did that, and I had no idea who sent me this invitation. So I'm not sure how it's facilitating the meeting, but so that's your opening ante, is what you're telling me.
She says, yes.
Okay.
She said, I'm not going to play stupid, so I would greatly appreciate it if you would not play stupid either for the rest of this conversation.
I'm not playing stupid. I did not know you did that, and I did not know who sent me this invitation.
She goes, no. She goes, you know my position.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because, I mean, the guys at Ten Toes weren't half-bloods, or weren't Dustborn, sorry.
10 bloods, yeah.
But they were harboring one.
They, oh, I did not know that.
She says, and I know you are now harboring 3, perhaps.
Well, I mean, you know, oh, I almost called her Joan. I'll say, you know, I mean,
Idaho, watch your words, man.
Did you really say that to me, or you just saying it to me out of game?
I said that very clearly to you. You know my position right now.
Yeah.
So okay. I'm just firing my little warning off. Like, watch your words, man.
I got you.
I don't trust her.
I don't either.
So
say, look, we're obviously at an impasse, Miss. I don't agree with any sort of edict. Well, I shouldn't say any. I don't agree with the blood hunt. I'm not a member of the Ivory Tower. I also, even within the limited context that I understand the rules of the Ivory Tower, I think the blood hunt called against the Dustborn is a load of bullshit. So I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I understand you feel compelled to carry it out, and we feel compelled to not agree with it and to offer protection to some people. So I don't know what else to say or do. I mean, what are you wanting? What are you wanting by what you said you offered a trade? What trade are you trying to discuss?
She goes, well, let us be perhaps a little more clear. Politics is not part of my job.
Okay.
You might call me a blunt instrument. Some people have said less flattering things. Those people are beneath what I would consider my purview. The prince of the city has issued an edict. It is my duty to carry it out. For him, this is a political fight. For you, this is a political fight. For me, this is a belief.
Oh, so you're just a puppet.
She looks at you and she goes, no. She goes, I dearly hold the words of the Book of Nod to be true.
Okay, look, and if tomorrow, if the prince said the blood hunt is off, would you stop hunting them?
She goes, no.
Okay, so it's not about what the prince did. It's because you think too many of these is a harbinger of an apocalypse for us.
She says, you already know this. She says, you are being pursued by one who desires you to further the bloodline because she cannot.
Oh, you mean Samantha?
Yeah, Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
So she deliberately wants me to make other Thin Bloods?
No.
Well, she wants you to. All she's been able to make has been Thin Bloods. So she wants you to try and create non-Thin Bloods.
I'm not sure that's what she's. Go ahead, Knox.
She says, your kind are few in this world. So yes, she wants more of you. She thinks that she is pursuing some great generational goal by furthering the clan Ravnos.
Okay.
But she cannot.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm sure you know I haven't been at this for very long, so I'm a little confused. But does this have something to do with the Thin Bloods and the Book of Nod?
She says, she reaches down under the table and out of a very, very small purse pulls a small black book. She flips through it. Looking for a passage. She seems a little troubled as she cannot find it. But she drops the book back into her bag. And she says, there will become a time when the generations are too thin of blood and cannot sire more kindred. These are the end times for us.
Oh. So, what is the trade you're asking of me?
She says, so, I know that it would be politically difficult for you and your Baron to be seen turning Thin Bloods out after you've made such a visible, staunch support of them. So here is the arrangement that I will offer. Churn them out. ones you have in your basement. The dope peddling idiot who has been sighted around your club. And the junkie behind the bar. Turn them out and let me deal with them. Your parent can use it as a rallying point however you choose. In return, she says, I will tell you a secret that I have discovered about one of your hated enemies. It is something that is strong enough that would allow you to claim territories without having to fight. It would allow you to break the wills of some of your enemies simply by having a conversation.
Okay. Well, I'm still kind of not sure why you brought up Samantha. Is that just supposed to be further evidence that the Book of Nod is true because we are incapable of making full bloods?
She is incapable.
But okay. So I'm not convinced that the Book of Nod is true. I'm not convinced. I mean, I will tell you this. Of two of the three Thin Bloods that we're harboring, two of them I would gladly place in your lap right now. But one of them I will not. And as much as, I mean, I'm telling you what I think, but that's not my decision. That's the Baron's decision. So I can relay this. I mean, is that okay? Would you like me to relay this back to the Baron?
I think she came after you because she thinks you're weak and easily malleable. She's too afraid of our Baron.
So are you actually saying that? Or was that?
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm pretty sure Al said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She shakes her head and she goes, fear is not part of it. She goes, I am doing this one, and she gestures to Idaho, a courtesy, as one, I believe, should do to all dance partners.
And I appreciate it. Believe me, I really do appreciate it. But I'm not going to go behind Michael's back, so I will have to relay this to Michael and get Michael's okay on the two.
I think Michael would love to meet our good lady here for himself, as far as an official meeting, since we were called to one. This snooping up in our club and playing the patron while scooping out information for yourself, it's pretty fucking underhanded. So if you want to do things, we're going to do things by the book. Our book, not your little vampire Bible.
She smiles at you and says, while you are here issuing empty threats, who's protecting your precious stone?
You didn't think that we already thought this was some kind of fucked up diversion?
She says, I have been as above board as I possibly can.
And by the way, remind me of what actual threat I made, empty or otherwise. I just simply stated that this is not our decision to make. So what kind of accusations are you trying to make?
She looks at you and she goes, I too was there at Elysium, and I do indeed remember the things you and your Baron said. She looks at you, Idaho, and says, you seemed the reasonable one.
Even more so than our Baron.
Well, I'm also the least experienced and the least powerful, so I appreciate it. I will relay this back, and we'll see where we go from there. But I mean, if it's any consolation, like I said, I mean, let me just ask this real quick out of game. I want to be sure. I want to be sure, real before I say something I shouldn't.
Okay.
She said that we're harboring 3 Thin Bloods. We have 2 Thin Bloods that are dead. Or not. Oh, 4. Oh, that's right. She's talking about the Nos also.
Nope.
Oh yeah, the Nos is not a Thin Blood. I'm losing count here. Who are our 4 Thin Bloods?
Well, there would be the one that Vic decided to pile drive a motorcycle through.
Right.
There is the Thin Blood that you found hanging from a chain.
Yep. And there's Ruby.
The drug dealer.
Oh, the drug dealer. Yeah. The drug. So I wasn't
120 chains.
Yeah.
120 chains.
So can we just
120? Like it's like 1,200 chains.
1,200 chains.
So I will tell her. I'll say, if it's any consolation to you, 2 of those 4, the 2 that are not really functioning, I'd be happy. Again, like I've said, if it were within my power, I'd put them in your lap right now. But honestly, the other stuff is not within my power, so I'll relay the information.
She nods and she goes, well, I hope with what's to come that you do not take it personal.
Okay.
She stands up, nods at the 3 of you, and says, I guess we'll be seeing one another again soon enough.
Probably so. And I will also stand up and exit. Does she leave?
Mm-hmm.
And do the dudes follow?
They wait until she is well away from the table, and then they kind of coalesce and follow her out.
All right.
As soon as she's out of earshot, I pull out my phone and call Ruby.
Ruby picks up shortly, and she's like, hey, what's up?
Hey, I need you to get back to the apartments, like, on the quick. Don't go by yourself. If Romano's free, have him take you over. But there's some shit going down. We're being threatened, whether we can believe it or not. And I just want to make sure you're safe.
She's like, what's going on?
It's a long story, sweetie, and I promise I will tell you every bit of it once we're together back at the apartment. But I just got to watch out for your safety right now.
She's like, all right, Lane and I are just kind of cleaning up here. We'll be done here in probably 20, 30 minutes, and then the group of us, I think Kai is heading over, and Romano, and
out of character, would we have, like, at this point stocked the bar with some kind of weapons, like a firearm or something? I mean, since we rebuilt and we,
I mean, you would probably have like pistols or something like that
Okay.
in reasonable places. But also worth mentioning that a pistol is likely not going to do a whole lot against a kindred, particularly in the hands of somebody who is not highly trained.
And
It's
it gives
true.
you
She doesn't have any points or anything like that in
so
weapons.
maybe chainsaws, chainsaw machete.
Yeah, because we just stash, a couple chainsaws around the club, just for shits and giggles.
We should
Okay,
have
no,
all-
I take your point. I take your
Yeah.
point, Storyteller. Okay.
It's a nail gun with wooden nails.
Just, I basically will leave off telling her, to make sure that, Romano or that they're watching each other's backs right now.
She's like, okay, I can do that. Should I tell anybody else anything?
Just that we're on our way back and watch your asses and be careful getting back to the apartments if we don't make it there first.
She's like, okay, see you soon, sweetie.
All right, babe.
She hangs up.
Okay, let's go. I assume there's a little bit of urgency here.
Yeah.
And so, let's get back to the apartments.
So, as you're heading back, you are each struggling a little bit, as it is quite close to dawn. So, it is too close to do any sort of hunting or so. What are your final actions or final thoughts as you head back to the apartment?
Do I even have time to drop them off and find another place to sleep?
You could probably drop them off and then drive, but it probably wouldn't be to a place that you're particularly well acquainted with. You'd be taking a little bit of a risk.
I'd be taking a risk and not do it too.
Has it not been enough time for you to have a sleepover at the apartments
No,
yet? Okay.
I do that on Saturdays.
Okay.
So, and I'm at a hunger of 2, so that's going to increase my chance of if my bane hits, I'm going to be in serious trouble.
How far away is that garage?
10 toes?
Yeah.
It's a decent way away. You could definitely drive to 10 toes.
Yeah. Why not? Let's do that.
I mean, they just said that they cleared it out, and that means that it's probably less likely they're going to be visiting back there. And even if they do, well, they like you, so.
Yeah. Also, the one thing I'm counting on is that,
Ow.
the person who might find me during the day is not a vampire. So that's otherwise this is a huge risk.
Yeah.
Well, it's gated.
I got to figure out other security measures, but I don't have time right now. So yeah, I honestly feel like that's less of a risk risking my bane at a hunger of 2. Because if I stay and I fuck up my roll next time and I end up getting aggravated damage with a hunger of 2, that's gonna suck. So yeah, I'll take my chances and I'll drive to 10 toes and sleep there.
Vic, what are you doing?
Just making sure Ruby's taken care of. Making sure she made it back safe.
Everybody, when you guys get to the apartments, everybody is where they should be.
Okay. Then I start working back on my shotgun because we're gonna need it soon. Start working on Stubby.
All right. Al, final thoughts, final actions.
I think I would at least clue Ruby into what's, as much as she needs to know right now. Just essentially that, we got this wannabe assassin out here that is just going after everybody and, well, everybody of her kind. And,
more for religious beliefs.
And yeah, this is even, she made clear that even if her prince said, okay, we call this shit off, she has no interest in listening. This is all just for her bullshit religious reasons. So she's a fucking fanatic and we gotta watch ourselves and watch out for you. So I need you to stay as close to me as possible or you know, I hate to sound like the stalker girlfriend, but you really got to let me know where you're going, when you're going, where you're going, like all the time. Give me all the information so I can protect you. And then from there, it would just be bedtime if she accepts what I've said.
She is a little. She doesn't really understand why. Why this is. Why this is happening? Why this person has like some sort of weird religious beliefs about her? Like she doesn't understand. But she seems willing to comply. She doesn't want to be killed. So.
And yeah, I mean, I want to make sure she understands this is the Cliff's Notes, okay? Like tomorrow, I promise, when we're with Michael, we got to let Michael know about all of this. It's too late tonight. But you know, we will discuss this further. I don't want her to think that I'm just giving her some bullshit just to shut her up.
So, with that, the sun rises, and our kindred find sleep after a intense night pursuing leads and being pursued. That our session, certainly not our chronicle, has ended.
Yay!
Awesome.
XP has been awarded.
Sweet.
Nice.
So did Idaho feel well supported in his mission?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you guys. That was great.
I was really hoping for all three of you to go down into the basement, because particularly with as hungry as Al was,
I had to play that one real fucking careful.
it would have been real easy to be like, "You are really hungry and you smell blood."
I could have been seriously chaotic evil and just like Joan Jett pissed me off and I just grabbed the closest motherfucker next to me and just now what do you want, bitch?
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I would have, if it had just been the couple and Hans, I would have considered doing something too. But anyway, very well done, Knox. You asshole.
And still, no answers.
No, I was about to just say, I was like, and we still know nothing more about the kid.
Well, we know the layout of the house.
We've made deductions now.
That's pretty important.
We've deduced certain things, yes.
Well, I made some notes. We'll have to follow up. We'll have to follow up, man. Awesome. Very good. Very fun.
So, we will see you all day after tomorrow.
Monday night. Okay. Awesome. Well, everybody that stuck around, what did you think? Did you have fun? I know we have a lot of lurkers, so. But yeah, we'll reconvene Monday here, and I will head over to find a raid, and we can drop you guys off at a friend's channel. So let's see who is currently streaming. Actually, guys, Vancouver by Night is streaming, so why don't we drop you off at another Vamp?
That's a good play.
Vamp stream. Yeah. Let's do that. There we go. Want to thank everybody for sticking with us tonight, and check out this other stream for Vancouver by Night. There are some really awesome role players. So start that raid. Give that 10 seconds.
And we will, of course, see you on Monday.
Yeah.
See you Monday.
Bye.
Adios.